Is it live on mine?
No, we're just. Hey guys, what's going on, man? Hey, Liddy, what's happening? Hey guys, real quick, before we get there, hey, we have
Cut that light off.
we have Justin in the house today. We are going to take your questions for as long as you guys want. This one's not going to go live on YouTube. We're just going to upload this to YouTube afterwards.
That one off.
But we are at Justin's place right here. We're in we're Midtown.
Midtown, yeah.
We're in Midtown Miami right now, as you can see there. And if we look on here, where are you guys at right now?
We are driving back to West Hollywood.
Back to West Hollywood. That's right next to us. So just turn up here. We're right next to you guys. Miami's right next to Hollywood.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll see you in a second. All right, guys, please have your questions ready. We're going to go for as long as you want here. We're going to take your Q&A. Unless something crazy happens, we're going to do this for as long as we can, okay? I see Raj and Michael already have questions. We have a bunch of new people. If you have been in MOA, or if this is your first time on the call, if you've been in MOA for less than 2 weeks, or this is the first time on your call, please put a 1 in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat if you have never been on one of these calls before, or you've only been in an MOA for 2 weeks. Fuck you, Raj. Nice try. Look at you, motherfucker. I saw you. That's hilarious. Nice. I like it. I like it. Okay, guys, so here's what I'm going to do for the first hour. I would like for you to, for your questions to be sent to either Justin and I, or just Justin, okay? Because I'm going to stay on here for as long as you want. I will take over and ask some questions before. Liddy and Katie, if you guys want to ask questions, raise your hand just like everybody else, okay? We'll do it like that. Raj, what's your question, brother?
What's up, Michael? How's it going, Justin? How are you guys doing?
Hey man, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Well, Justin, I just want to thank you. I don't know if you remember, but I messaged you on Instagram a few weeks ago about like something with a question. You gave me an answer. And it was definitely valuable, and I'm like super excited you're linking up with Michael. He's like an older brother at this point, and like you two are like a force together. So I'm definitely looking forward to this content and the future content, and make some noise together, which is awesome.
Man, thank you.
And
Awesome.
I guess my question could go to either Michael or Justin, but so if you are in proximity with people who are managing a lot of money, like 7, 8, 9 figures, and you just started in this current job, how would you network with those very high earners if you don't have as much, I guess, technical value or a skill set that could really help them? But like, how would you guys angle that if you were trying to network with very high earners who are in your proximity every day?
What do you do?
It depends what kind of proximity I was to them. If I was working with them together and I was supposed to be in their position one day, then I would probably take a mentor-mentee approach.
Mm-hmm.
If you're trying to get in, I'm a big believer in making sure that things happen naturally when I'm when I'm trying to get a mentor or I'm trying to work with somebody, because ultimately, if you're trying to get in their circle, they're going to need to mentor you at some point. They obviously have information that you don't. That's how they made the money. Nobody's giving it to them. So if you create a relationship with them that feels natural, that happens natural over time, and you start to build rapport with them over time, man, I think it's just a matter of time, especially if you can frame them in a way where you're like, hey man, I really admire this about you. You know, what do you do with this? Then the next thing, you kind of have an invested interest in you. And I found, especially with older white men, once they feel like they kind of have an invested interest in you, they tie their pride to your success. So I'm not saying you would kiss their ass, but if you have a legitimate technical question about how to invest money or how they do their job, I think I would start there, like very hat in hand and appreciative, and maybe buy them lunch and ask your question, man. It's very rarely that you're going to ask someone for help and they're not going to take the time to show you. I think it's a very rare thing, because most of the time men are going through the world, whether they're making money or not, being very unappreciated for what they do and the competence they have. Because most people that make money in something boring. So I think if you do that and you're hat in hand and you're honest and genuine about it, and you don't push them, you let it happen naturally, I don't think you'll have a problem at all.
Sounds
Raj, I'm going to use a quote from Justin Waller. You have to become valuable to other men. So for me, the networking thing has always happened because I will do something that other people want to go to or be a part of, and then I invite them to come in, and then I'll ask them for help with certain things. Does that make sense? Like it's really crazy because one of the things, like I'm staying here in Miami with a huge TV producer. I'm staying at his mansion. And then at the end of my time here, there's a guy who he was an economic advisor for a presidential administration. I'm staying at his house while I'm here too. When I ask them questions about stuff that they're interested in, that was the first thing I told you guys when I first met Neil Strauss. I didn't ask him about the game. I asked him about his favorite book by James Joyce called what's the book? I can't remember the name of the book right now. The Odyssey. Yeah. And so that's what I would do. I would sit there and focus on things that they were interested in, and then I would try to figure out ways to bring value. When people are super wealthy or they're super connected, one of the ways you can still bring value to them, I have found, is charity. Charity is definitely something where you can connect a lot of people, because if I'm throwing an animal rescue charity, it doesn't matter how famous you are, at least you want to know about it. Does that make sense?
Right, for sure.
Okay. And then the other one is like this, and we talked about this before. I invite people to things knowing full well they can't go. Not to be disingenuous, but we talked about this before. I invite people to think, I'm happy when they take me up. But, I invited Tristan, Andrew, Rolo, Justin, all of them to come to the bikini competition. Now, Justin was able to come, but all of them could have come and been a judge, because this is an opportunity for me to connect and then show them what I can do. This is the same thing I did with Jason Hartman and several other people like that. Rolo, I brought him to my birthday party because I want to show these people I'm willing to do things for them and ask for nothing in return. Does that make sense? I want to start from there. And then from that point on, it's usually they're more than willing to help.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I just remember the example that we were using in MOA when we were recruiting for the Playboy contest, and that even that got a lot of heads turning in. A lot of people wanted to network with me after I did that. So it definitely makes sense when you guys put into words, and I could definitely see it in like real life action that I've taken. So thank you guys. I appreciate it.
I appreciate it. Hey guys, everybody. Oh man, okay. See, because you guys are late. See, I was sitting there worried. I was like, why is there fucking 5 guys in here? Now it's 62. Let's keep going here. Hey, what's going on, Michael? What are you doing, brother?
What's up, Michael? How are you doing? Hello, Justin.
Good. Hey man, how are you?
I'm doing great. First, Michael, I want to thank you for this opportunity. Like each 2 weeks.
Can I do something real quick? Because I just remembered a lot of you guys are new. This is what he means by the bikini competition. I don't know. Can you guys see my screen? This is the competition that he's talking about. There were 200 girls we recruited for the Playboy Presents Yandy Summer Search bikini competition. Recruited almost all of the girls. I recruited probably 180 of the 200. I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying that because I teach you how to do this. And if this is something you want to learn how to do this, like again, this is hard mode. If you can bench press 400 pounds, you can bench press 300 pounds. If you can get these girls to show up to your events, then when you're a mortgage broker trying to get a bunch of other mortgage brokers to come to your charity event, it's a fucking breeze. It's easy mode. This is hard mode. Anything you want to do other than this is easy mode. By the way, you see Katie, who was on the call. Katie's in the back there. We're coming down the staircase. Awesome, man. Michael, go ahead with your question.
Yes, sir. So this question is more dedicated towards Justin. So Justin, I listened to your podcast with Rich Cooper a while back, and you mentioned after you split with Miss Louisiana, and you had a period of time that was very kind of lost, kind of lonely. And so my situation right now is that my US visa expiring in 6 months, which means that after that I have to leave the country. And I know that I don't want to go back to communist China. And I have a few options that I'm able to go somewhere else or stay in the US, but just all of those options that make me very unknown and unsure for the future. And I want to see what's your takeaway with that.
Can you come back on a visa after you spend some time in China or somewhere else?
I can, but I must have a job, which is something that the US companies wouldn't want to do.
I see. So then it comes down to whether you want to go back to China or you want to spend your time somewhere else. There's many, many places in the world that I would spend if I weren't in the United States. Are those options for you?
Yeah, I'm open to all the options, but like making one decision is the one that made me hesitate the most.
Yeah, so I don't know how much you've traveled. If I personally were in your position, I'd go to Medellin or Eastern Europe. So that's what I would personally do. And I don't feel like that's very good advice, but I'll tell you based off of my time, I've been to quite a few countries now. I would definitely either be in Eastern Europe, obviously not Ukraine anymore, but our Medellin, Colombia is a really good place to be if you can work remotely, of course.
Is there any specific reasons for that?
Women are beautiful. beautiful weather, and currency exchange is really, really in your favor. I think it's 5-1 pretty much in both countries, maybe even more in Medellin, actually. So cost of living's good, weather's good, the views are beautiful, the women are kind and beautiful, and I found that you can pretty much speak English and get away with it. Maybe a little Spanish in Medellin, but it didn't slow me down. So I think you'll be okay.
Michael, I would talk to the other guys in MOA, like Kareem, who lives in Mexico City, some of the other guys who live in some of these other cities about specifically what he's talking about. Also, I would go back and watch the episode that I did with, Parada, Dave Parada. Dave Parada was a copywriter who lived in Phuket, Thailand for a while, and he was able to do that from different locations. Also, Gav Kwok, who's one of my earlier clients, if you can get in touch with him. Gav Kwok is a digital nomad. He travels all over the world, and he does Amazon FBA stuff. Those are the guys I would talk to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Remember, in MOA, we don't talk about it, we be about it. So one of the things I want you to do is there's a network, and I remember what everybody does, so I'm going to send you to those people. But that also means, Michael, when you're making, 7 figures a month, chilling in fucking in Barbados or whatever, you need to help the next guy. That makes sense, Michael? When you figure
Roger
out,
that.
got it?
Yes, sir.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
I love it, man.
All right, brother.
We got an ass ton of questions. But Michael, all right, so let's put your hand down. Mr. Ty Buchanan, what's going on, Ty?
Dude, Justin, you gotta get to the gym, man. You're sitting next to Michael's making it look like you played Pee Wee football.
Stop it, bro. Stop it. I played left tackle in high school.
You want to see my abs, bro?
I know you only work the lower ones. Don't you worry about it.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yes, I
really
wanna see
appreciate.
that. Yeah, we do.
Liddy, raise your hand. Raise your hand, Liddy.
Raise your hand like a normal fucking human. Don't be a troglodyte. Go ahead.
Hey, for real though, Justin, really appreciate you coming on. Been following your content after I saw you get on the MOA podcast. Really resonate with what you say. Both you guys, really appreciate your time. The question I have for you is, I live in rural Indiana, like it's small town. I know that you're from Louisiana, but at what point did you become like Justin Waller? What was that turning point where you decided to kind of make yourself larger than just being some dude that works in construction, so on and so forth? Like when was that shift, and kind of, can you walk through that story?
Yeah, so growing up in a small town, particularly the South, the Bible Belt, most people want you to live small. Yo, cut that shit out. Most people want you to live small, and they want to kind of suppress who you are. So anything that's like anything more than being humble and small, or in the case of the South, being fat or going to church, anything like that, they're going to try to hit you with guilt and say you're boastful, you're arrogant, or anything like that. So that's something that was deeply ingrained in me, actually, from a very young age. Even in football, it's talk with your pads. It was never anything that could create any kind of pageantry around you, or any kind of magic, if you will. And so that was something that was always on me, and something I really felt like I needed to overcome. But on the other side of that, I was always working on my fitness. I was always working on my business. I'm in my 12th year in the construction company, and I always wanted to do YouTube. But I told myself I would have to be a multimillionaire before I would go on the internet and start talking a whole bunch of shit, because I'd seen a bunch of guys that weren't successful before they went online. And I just didn't want to be that guy, because it felt disingenuous to me. And so when I was already fighting kind of what everybody around me was saying, like people that go on the internet are influencer or whatever, however they packaged it. When I was already fighting that, there was a level of legitimacy that I had to know personally that I had. And once I had finally checked that last box off, I was more open to it. And I have to say that Andrew Tate pushed me a lot. And he's like, bro, you got the magic, dude. You need to. So and that's kind of where me and Andrew kind of struck a deal. That's where we grabbed Thomas, and Thomas quit. Like, because Thomas, I don't know if you know who Thomas is, but he runs all my YouTube. Well, now he travels the world with me. He works full time. Pablo works full time. We've built like this team and this family now. But I would say Andrew was the one that came to me. He's like, listen, man, you could make some serious money doing this. And I know that you've already checked these boxes off. So that was probably the final nudge for me. And I would say the other thing was when I joined the War Room, Sterling Cooper and I got really close, and I moved to Miami. So changing my atmosphere away from like the suppressive small town, feeling like people were judging me, and everybody was doing this here, that really helped out a lot. So I hope that, I know it's kind of long-winded, but that's kind of how I got there.
No, I mean, that all resonates exactly with what I'm doing right now. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, man, I get it. Indiana, bro.
Hey, Tyler,
Dude,
let me say one other thing, man. You guys know when you message me on IG, how long does it take for me to get back to you? Like 2 seconds. Andrew's like one of the most famous dudes on the planet. When we message him, he gets back in 2 seconds. He went out of his way. Thank you, brother. He went out of his way to like introduce me to him, right? Andrew did. So you can't meet, you guys, you know, my mentor financially is Tom Sosnoff. He's a billionaire. He owns Thinkorswim. He created Thinkorswim. He created Tasty Trade, and he created the small exchange, and he sold them all for $2.1 billion. If you message Tom Sosnoff right now, he's the CEO of the company, in 15 minutes, he will write you back. The dude is obsessed. He writes back thousands of emails. That's how you have to be for a while. You have to be obsessed with your company, in love with your company. But I just want to bring that up. Like when he's talking about with Andrew, it's like Andrew at no point just turned off, right? He still was like engaged. You have to stay engaged. It can't be one of these things where if you want to turn everything on auto, you can do that. But at some point, like we had a client, he was an Amazon FBA guy. And I wasn't teaching Amazon FBA. Another client of mine was teaching him. And he would come on my calls. He's like, hey, Michael, I may have some money I need you to manage because I'm just going to make so much money. And of course, he made no money. It can't all be automated, right? You have to stay engaged. You have to keep the wheels on the road. Does that make sense?
it does. Appreciate it, gentlemen. Thank
You
you.
need to enjoy it. You guys, let me tell you something. I don't give a fuck if I made 50 million a year. If you think I would stop doing these calls, you're out your goddamn mind. I will never stop doing these calls. I will never stop doing. I will be 80 and doing these calls from a fucking hospital bed. Okay, got it. I'm in love with this, right? I'll be exactly right. There we go. Andrew, what's up, man?
Hey, Justin, Michael. So my question is about, so I think as Michael knows, like, you know, I've been in his program for a while and I've been learning from him quite a bit now. So I wanted to know from you, Justin, and I guess you guys can talk it out too, but what is your stance on female friends? And also, like, when you're in a relationship with a girl, is it okay for her to have guy friends? I wanted to hear your take on it.
No, I agree with him. You think I'm going to disagree with him? I don't. The reason why I agree with him, it's not okay for a girl to have guy friends, is because I'm the guy friend. I'm fully aware of what happens.
Yeah, not if she's my girl, bro. No
yeah,
guy,
I totally agree with him.
If I got a guy friend, if I got a girlfriend, bro, she's got no guy friends. Fuck that. It's absolute no. Hard no.
What if it's a gay guy friend?
Fuck that. No.
What if it's Tristan?
No.
No.
But look, man, because look, I've been the guy friend too. And I feel the same way about girls' trips, man. I've been the dude on the guys, bro, just plowing. And I know, and a lot of times, it's not because I know she had a boyfriend. But I can feel that she's lying to me. They'll lie to you, bro. I've had women lie to me and tell me that they were single, and I find out they're not single because I get that message, you know? And you don't ever want to be that punk ass fucking dude sending a message. Number one, I would never send a message like that to another man. But secondly, man, no, bro, no guy friends. Can I have girlfriends that are truly girlfriends? Yeah, bro. But if I'm keeping it honest, if she wanted to fuck, I'd probably hit it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In most situations, let's not bullshit.
Liddy, do you want to be friends with Justin? Sorry, no, you'll see her in a second. Oh, she's on the call.
Liddy, he's 6'2".
Huh?
Liddy, he's 6'2".
No, he's tall. He's 6'3".
He's 6'3", even better.
6'3", Liddy. We'll she'll hit you up in a second.
Who's Liddy?
You'll see who she is. She was one of the girls driving earlier. Andrew, I actually agree with him because here's the problem. What on the last 10 calls, what have we had guys on here complaining about? You guys remember? I brought this up on the last call. Raj, you remember?
All the female friends start liking us, bro.
Yes, you're one of them, Raj. All the female friends start liking us. That's exactly right. So what happens is, I want you to consider from my standpoint, I'm friends with girl A, B, C, D, E, and F, like these 10 girls. Their boyfriends are constantly like, where are you? What are you doing? The boyfriends are putting them in this relationship frame. And over time, the sexual energy starts to decay a little bit, but they still have a relationship that they have to deal with. When they deal with me, what do they get? Fun energy, seeing me with other women, pre-selection, access to scarce resources. You guys want to go on stage at this club? Cool, I'll just get you on stage. And there's no fighting with me.
Right. And
There's
what's
no
the
fight.
boyfriend doing?
The boyfriend
He's
is
chasing,
Yes.
desperate.
Yes.
While Michael's sitting there looking like he's just chilling. He's the funnest thing on the
Yeah.
planet. And them bitches get that shit crossed up, and next thing you know, it's sucking dick.
Yes.
No.
Can I can I ask a follow-up to this?
I never disagreed with him on this. I have a
Yeah.
ton of female friends, but the reason why it's so problematic is not because I sleep with the girlfriends who have boyfriends. It's because what happens is when you put women in these situations, after a while, you just put them in that churn. Eventually, these autonomic fucking evolutionary responses start happening. Like, boy, he's so much higher status than my boyfriend. Why does my boyfriend do that?
She doesn't even register that.
Yes.
You're
exactly.
you're putting a good girl in a bad situation.
Right. I understand.
If you really care about your girl, you wouldn't do that.
I had a feeling that I had a feeling you guys would say that. I just
Yeah.
wanted to like ask a follow-up to go along with this.
Hold on, Andrew, let me say this. I'm not quite as draconian as him. I do have some girl, like if there's somebody that they've known for a while, here's what I will not stand. When they're like, I want to go on a yacht with John, come on the yacht with John with me. And I'm like, just as long as you don't delude yourself into trying to tell me that John is your friend and doesn't want to have sex with you. If you tell me that, we're done. Because now you're lying to yourself, you're lying to me, and you know that's not the truth. Does that make sense? That's
Right.
why, because I used to manage a strip club. Girls at the strip club would come to me like, "Oh, you should come on John's boat." I'm like, "I have a penis. John does not want me in his boat." No, John's not like that. He's like my brother. No, John wants to have sexual intercourse with you. That's the only. You notice all the girls he invites, none of them are 300 pounds. John wants to have sex with you. That's fine. I'm not hating on John. It's not John's job to not want to fuck you. That's not the issue. Don't be stupid though. Don't sit there and try to convince me that John doesn't want to have sex with you. If you do that, we're done. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And let me be completely clear. I've had girlfriends before. They had friends from school that got married, which were guys. And like, I couldn't make it for whatever reason when I was dating that girl. I'm like, yeah, go. That's not what I'm talking about. But the boat shit, fuck no.
Exactly.
Fuck
So
no.
I just wanted to ask.
Like they're acting stupid, like they don't know
Yes.
what's happening. I don't have any patience for that.
I got that. So like, yeah, maybe this question be open to both of you. I think of course it is, but like how, so like when you're maybe in a relationship finally, like how do you communicate like what is expected once you're in the relationship as far as guy friends and all that's concerned? Like how do you guys feel it should be handled? If that makes sense.
One more time.
Like how do you handle, like when you gotta finally kind of establish those boundaries, like look, like this is how it's got to be, like how do you think that goes down in your eyes?
I'll let him answer. I answered this last week for you guys about the if-then statement.
Yeah, so there's a couple ways I guess you could go about it. You could just sit her down and have an honest conversation. I think women really appreciate that. You have that, get all the chairs and tables out the way, knee to knee. Hey, listen, we got to talk about a few things. If you're gonna if you want me to take this seriously, these are my guidelines. This is the kind of the structure of what we're gonna have together, just in a very loving way. And also I would future pace her like, hey, I really care about you. I mean, I'm assuming this is a girlfriend that you're talking about. Like this is a long-term relationship.
No, I don't.
Or this is just
I
some
don't
girl
have
you're
one.
sleeping with.
I'm just asking like a hypothetical.
Well, if it were a girlfriend, it's a completely different conversation than just some girl I'm sleeping with. Because
Sure.
I'm not so naive to believe a girl I sleep with in Miami is not going to go on a boat tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right. So that comes down to how you pick them. And I think a lot of guys get their heart broke because they picked the wrong girl. If you can't see what a good blueprint looks like, then you need to fix your picker. But if your picker's good and you got a good girl and you sit her down, you have a honest, respectable, heart-to-heart conversation about your expectations and why. If she can't see the reasoning and admit to the fact that men want to sleep with her, and they disguise it as friends. I'll tell you another people that do this. Church guys will disguise Jesus and try to slip in. You know what I'm saying? Church is nothing more than a Sunday morning club, bro. Jesus put it on me to come talk to you. Did he? Or are you trying to smash, bro? So you got to have a heart-to-heart conversation. Respect her, bro. Have a respectful conversation with her. Let her tell her why. Give her ground to stand on. And if she can't do that, I got news for you, bro. She's going to do it anyway or behind your back. So I think having an honest adult conversation and giving her that respect is probably the best way to go. She'll respect the frame. And then when if she tries to call you off, you got to hold strong because it could just be a shit test.
Andrew, do you remember in MOA where we talked about circles? Circle 1 is the people who know everything about me. Circle 2 is people I really like. They don't know all the passwords, but they're people I enjoy being around. Circle 3
Yes.
are people that I'm neutral about, but I may like or not like, but I just don't have enough information. Circle 4 are people I have to deal with because of for business matters, but I genuinely don't like them. And circle 5 are people that I just avoid, right? You remember that? I have the same
Yes.
thing. I'm going to put this probably in MO Advanced. Well, I have the same thing for women. The women that I go to clubs with and I hang out with and introduce me to other women, I don't date them. Will we have, we have Bible study together, multiple of us at the same time? Yes, for sure. But I don't date them. Do you
It's the
understand?
guy in church, bro.
Touch and agree.
He's a
Wherever
holy
2 or 3
man.
of you have formed, I shall be there. Right? No, for sure. Like the thing I'm trying to say is they're different. And I told him, I was out with my homegirl last night. She's a club promoter here. She's like ripped, super good shape. And she goes out all the time. And it's funny. I'm not going to say who she is, but she's been with a lot of dudes in Miami. And because I go out with her, we just get in everywhere because she's like cool with everyone. I would never date her though. Do you understand what I'm saying? The girls she introduces me to are fucking stunning, but I would never date her. So that's one circle. These are the girls that I would date. And then the next circle out would be, girls that I don't really, it's not that I don't take them seriously. They would be in the friend zone and maybe we'd do some Bible study stuff, but that would be it. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So you have to keep those, I would keep those things separated. What happens is when you see a big butt and a smile and you start believing what they say because their teeth are straight and their titties are nice and they have a nice ass, and you start believing the words that you're saying, which is why, what's rule number 1 in MOA?
We don't listen to the words.
You don't listen to the words. Exactly right. Beautiful. Got it?
Thank
Does that
you.
answer your question?
Yes, that was perfect. Thank you.
Awesome. Anton, what's your question, brother?
So just a little background. So like I got a nice place. I work on apps. I work on like a game engine. I play music, trying to get like a band together. I've definitely worked construction. That's why I have a lot of respect for Justin. I've done like a lot of stuff in my life, but like I guess I have 2 questions. The first is like I'm having trouble like finding motivation, structuring my day, like getting up like earlier in the morning. So that's definitely something I need help with because I know that there's a lot I have to do, but it's just like I haven't been feeling it like lately. The other question is like, how do you go about like building your circle? Because it's easy to like when you're like already around a bunch of chicks, like it's easy to just like talk to a bunch, but it's like it's hard to get the ball rolling if you know what I'm saying. It's like I need help like networking, finding like-minded people, and just and getting out there. I don't know like where to start really.
Far away.
Okay. Here's the first thing, Anton. Are you in MOA right now? I don't think you are. Are you?
I figured this was just the call.
No, it's fine. I'm just asking. The thing is, I need a frame of reference to know what you know. So you're not in MOA, right?
No.
Okay. If you guys want to unmute yourselves and tell him what's the problem is, you're probably going to guess what I'm going to say before I am. And
Get an MOA?
No.
Right?
I don't care if you ever get in an MOA. Listen, no, I'm telling the guys to unmute themselves if they know what the issue is. The guys are in MOA. I think what you're doing is very indicative of a problem we frequently see. Anton, you do not give yourself permission. Okay?
Like, what do you mean?
I'll give you an example. In the statement you just made, you use the word like 54 times. Okay? That is a crutch, a verbal crutch that people use because you believe that the words you're saying are not worth being heard. And so you're trying to say them quicker or use qualifiers in the words that you're saying because you don't think that they're worth being heard. And I know you might be just because you're talking to us. That's fine. What I'm telling you though is in general, the ability to give yourself permission to stop giving a fuck. So we'll use some examples. Okay, ready? So if you had committed securities fraud back in the 80s and did 15 months in prison, your life would be over, right? You would never be able to write a book and have a movie made out you and never be. Oh wait, no, The Wolf of Wall Street, right? He fucked all those hookers, he did all those quaaludes. We still love him though, right? Don't we? Right? Here, let's use another extreme example. Let's say you transition to become a woman and then you fucking run over a motherfucker and kill him. Involuntary manslaughter while you're drunk and then run over someone else. And then 4 months later, you're named Woman of the Year.
Right.
Yeah. You remember that when that happened? Hey,
you talk
how
about
the Fire Festival when you're Billy McFarland and you rob people for $90 million? Did you see he was just on Nelk Boys last week? Did you see that? Do you know I went to a party the other day and there was these white women just surrounding this one table. All there was just in this one area. Do you know who was sitting in that area? OJ fucking Simpson, dude. OJ Simpson.
crazy.
Do you see how I'm using extreme examples? I don't want you to do any of the things that I just said. My point is you could do a lot of fucked up shit and still be okay. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
So
get
you
it.
give yourself permission, which you have not given yourself permission. So when you ask a lot of these questions about what to do, I promise you, if you started from that place of, am I in the gym? Do I have the physique that I want? Do I have the voice that I want? And do I sound the way I want to sound? A lot of these problems will solve itself. The ultimate answer to a lot of your questions, though, it would be, yes, to join MOA. But if you can't join MOA, then just get in the Discord server or come on these calls and we can answer some of the questions. You ask the most general possible question is, how do I build this? Right? That's an incredibly general question for us to build. The first four, does anybody want to unmute themselves and tell them what are the first 4 steps in MOA? Not the first 4 rules. What are the first 4 steps? Anybody want to unmute themselves?
Fix your Instagram.
Antoine, sorry, breaking up. It's fix your Instagram. What's step 2?
6 female friends.
No, that's not step 2.
Build your list.
Build your list. What's step 3?
6 events.
Okay, Antoine, I'll do it because there's a delay. Step number 1, your social media has to make you not look like a fucking child molester. Okay? Your social media.
No, I got it good.
Got it? Like,
I got it. The only reason I sound the way I do is because I'm probably talking to you guys. I look up to you guys. Yeah.
No, Antoine, we love you, bro. Don't worry about it. You don't have to make it's fine. What I'm saying, because you understand from my standpoint, I have 500 clients. Well, I get this all the time. It's totally fine. But do you ever play FIFA or Madden or MLB The Show or any video game like that? You ever play it? You remember they have speed, acceleration, all those different sliders. You remember the sliders? You got to get all the sliders up to a certain point.
Gotcha.
Right? And so that's what you would learn. That's what you learn in the program. So for us, one of the sliders is, does your social media profile make you look relevant? Because social media is the scale. It's the free scalable gift that you have. Because unless you're going to buy magazine ads or you're going to be on a TV show or you've just won an NBA championship, the scalability of your persona, the best way to do it is through social media. You understand?
Right. I got good. I'm good on social media. At least I think so.
Okay. So can we, we can check, but I don't want to do this and make it, will you do me a favor, Antoine? Will you put your IG in the chat and have some of the guys on here check and see whether or not your social media shows access to skills?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, let's do that. That's number 1. Number 2, I want you to build your list. You know that dream sheet that you see on people's refrigerators sometimes? I want your dream sheet to be 200 people that you want to network with that can help you make money and 2,000 female influencers.
Got it.
That will help you define in your head what you actually want. Step 3, I need 6 events that you can go to or invite people to. It's totally fine if you live and you want to network with somebody and you invite them to the Maxa party and I get them on the carpet, but you don't even show up. You still get credit and you still have an open thread. Okay. And then step 4, I need 6 female teammates to go with you to different shit.
Gotcha.
Okay. If you do that, guess how that's how I network with men through that. How I network with women. Like I told you, I'm staying with one of the economic advisors for presidential administration on Thursday. We met through the 4 steps I just told you.
What about the motivation part? What do you think? Like,
do you have any idea for motivation? Because I have some for that too.
Far away.
Okay, ready? Half of the population of the planet that you live on lives on $1 a day.
Okay.
Is that?
I there's a lot of poverty. I've been around.
You are amongst the richest human beings who have ever lived on the face of this planet. You live after the advent of antibiotics. You live during a period where there is high-speed internet. You live during a period where you can fly across the country for less than $1,000 at 420 knots. You live in the greatest time period in history. The majority of your ancestors lived brutal lives. 25% of men who have ever existed reproduced. The vast majority of men died virgins. Do you understand?
Right.
The lifespan, even 10,000 years ago, was 30 years old before your fucking teeth fell out. You are unfathomably fortunate. That's where I get my motivation.
Mommy.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah.
Make sense, Antoine?
Yeah, it sounds good.
Love it, man.
Thanks.
Love it. Alejandro, what's your question, man? Man, I feel like we're in office space right now. Alejandro, what are you doing? All right, we'll get back to you, Alejandro. Daxis, what's up, pimp? Daxis, you're muted, pimp.
Can you hear me?
You can.
Can you hear me now?
You can. Okay, weird. Daxis, unmute yourself and stay unmuted.
All right. How are you doing, Mr. Sartain? Can you hear me clearly?
Can hear you.
Awesome. Yeah, it's Daxton Superhero. I'm back, baby. So I've been on this call a bunch of times. Sorry, stuttering. So I'm gonna basically run down my question very quickly and very succinctly. I got it down to the size. So I have access to a couple, let's say, mid-sized, large properties in the Midwest, and I want to use the properties as leverage to glue influencers and brands together. How do I contact and DM? How do I find the right people, and how do I get replies?
For what? What do you want to do with these? Are these for photo shoots? You trying to sell these rental properties? What do you mean properties?
Like houses, basically use them as locations for photo shoots, events, but like using them, allowing brands to use them. So if Carhartt is like, hey, like the property that you have, can you get a few influencers here and doing this? Can you get photographers, videographers here? Basically using these properties as a set.
Or just that's just IB. You gotta show. Go on Zillow and find the best photos and just show them to them.
Okay, so just DM the brands and the influencers alike and just say, hey, this is
Daxis. Remember, sell me the pin. How do you sell? What's the first question? Sell me a pin. What's the first question? Help them out, guys. Unmute yourselves. Sell me the pin. What's the first question?
Why are you in the market for a pin?
What?
What?
Are you in the market for a pin?
Okay.
Daxis, when you ask these people, when you go to the fucking Puritanical Church of Kentucky and ask them, do you want to have a bikini competition? They're going to tell you, fuck no, because they're not in the market for a bikini competition. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So you're going to go to them and you're going to show them this is what I have. And you're not going to haggle. They want it. They don't want it. You just move on to the next one. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. I love it, bro. Hey, guys, let's keep the questions specifically for Justin. Questions that Justin, specifically for Justin. Alejandro, are you back?
See how he puts the heat on me, man.
Yeah? No, he's not there yet. John Mark, what's your question?
Hey, Michael. Hey, thanks for bringing on dope-ass guests like Jay Waller here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a question for Jay Waller here. On a podcast, I heard you made some money through your construction business for general contracting. I was kind of curious if you ever were at a point in your business where you just felt like you were spinning a lot of plates and it was just hard to scale. I was kind of curious if you had some sort of X factor. Yeah, sorry. I was wondering if you had some sort of X factor that helped you scale your business, or what you did exactly to overcome some of these challenges where you feel like you're just spinning a bunch of plates with different contracts.
Yeah, I definitely had times like that, man. I had times where I definitely wanted to quit. What I would say is, for me, I did a lot of work with eMyth. I did about 2 years with eMyth, and really looking at the concept of who's an entrepreneur, who's a manager, who's a technician, and what systems are in the business. So for me, at this point, I know who I am, and I certainly know who I'm not. And I hire who I'm not and what I don't want to do, and what is monotonous to me and what I know I won't do. And I put systems in for those things. And those systems run. I have a staff. All of my management staff is actually older than me. There's a bonus structure set up, so they're incentivized to do their job and do it well. And that's really put me in a place where there's not this gap between us, because if I'm having to jump somebody's ass in my business, either they didn't follow a system, or I should be paying them more money because they should have done their job in a better way. And I feel like when you can lead someone from, hey, you should be making more money and I should be the one paying you, rather than, hey, you're not making me more money. You know what I'm saying? When it's you and that person in it, and you're upset with them because you're not paying them more rather than them not making you richer, then I think that you're in a really, really good place. And then also let my team be involved in creating systems. Hey, this happened on said job. What do you guys think that we can do? Because the more their ideas I can get into my business, the more they'll get behind the plan itself. So even if I like 75% of what somebody says, I want to make it their idea. So that way, when it goes in the system, they felt like they were a part of building it and building the company. You know, it is about money, especially when it comes to men. I got 162 men working for me. But I can tell you, bro, a lot of times too, if they feel a part of making the decisions to a degree, and they feel like they have a future, and they feel like they're a part of the systems that we're going to really, really, really hold them to around safety, quality, production for me and the construction company, then I'm in a really good place, because they help me make the plan, and I'm only really going to jump their ass if they don't follow that plan, or if they should be performing better, which means that I want to pay them more money. Make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. I think a lot of challenges people face is, subs not performing like they're supposed to.
Okay,
and a lot
yeah.
of times,
So that's a different game. That's where you fucking bust people's balls, bro. That's a completely different game. So when they say, are you in contracting?
I flip houses. I don't have a general contract.
Okay, cool. Let's talk about subs just in general, right? And obviously, you know, I do commercial and industrial, so I'm not messing with houses. But I can tell you how it is in my world. If a sub sends me a contract, I'm going to look at the contract and the billing schedule. It's called schedule of values, right? So they're going to bill you off percent complete. First of all, I need to make for damn sure that I agree with that schedule of values. For example, if I'm if I'm building a Costco, okay, and I put 60% for hanging steel, that project manager is going to send it back to me and say no, because I'm going to get in front of him on hours, in the cost of the contract. So to me, you need to really, really, really watch the schedule of values they send you and make sure that they've actually finished the work up to the billing. I would hold retainage if I were you. And I advise for you to hold their foot to the fucking fire. The good thing about having a sub, the difference between a sub and an employee can fuck up and it comes out of you. But when you have a subcontractor, they need to do their fucking job, because you're paying them that extra profit in order for them to have their own business. They can have their own business, and I'm not telling you to beat subs up, but you put them in their fucking place, bro. It's a whole different game when you're dealing with a sub. Do your job. Do it right. I'm going to hold retention until it's done.
Yeah, makes sense.
Schedule.
Makes sense.
Hey, John, do you remember I've talked to you about this before? When I talk about sales guys, I go to Cole Gordon. When I talk about writing a sales letter, I go to Nick Cosman. When I talk about ad spend, I'll ask Ty Lopez, right? When I talk about fitness, I'll go talk to Jay Cutler. Sometimes I'll even talk to Bilzerian, or I'll talk to Greg O'Gallagher, or I'll talk to Brandon Carter, right? When I want to talk about hiring people, I talk to Justin about that, because Justin is managing hundreds of people and they all have families. That's why it's so important to have mentors in these different areas. The second thing I want to bring up, do you want to know why so many of these self-help companies failed? It's actually not the reason you think. Do you have an idea why? So many self-help companies from the last 10 years just went belly up. Do you know what happened?
My assumption is they're just kind of a ticky-tacky cash grab, a lot of them.
Cash grab. Here's the reason why. Ready? It is because they didn't want to pay their high performers. Frequently, I won't say the name of some of these companies, they would hold commissions from their people, not pay them on time, or not pay them at all. One of the biggest companies in this area that I won't say their name right now, they literally were telling their coaches, you get 50% of revenue after expenses, and they were taking 80%. They were stealing from their people. I love paying my fucking employees. I love paying them. I'm so excited to pay them. For everyone in MOA, except for Shar, because she's my social media manager. Everyone in MOA, they eat what they kill. We all work on commissions. There are no fucking salaries in my program. I love to pay them. Guys, when you start a business, love to pay your employees. I knew that I was going to run a successful business because I made 2 rules. And I wish Miguel or Grant were on the call. We had 2 rules in MOA. This is inside of MOA. This has nothing to do with you guys. Rule number 1 is everyone gets paid on time. And rule number 2 is if anyone touches anyone else's commissions, you're fired immediately. It seems so basic, doesn't it? It seems so basic. Almost every PUA company you know of violated those 2 rules. And that's why they fell apart. You understand? I knew that if I paid people on time and my highest performers paid them the most money. By the way, if you're a sales guy for MOA, congratulations, you're coming with us to Jamaica next January with a bunch of, we're going to Mexico together. We take care of our people. I look forward to compensating my people. Got it? I know it's a little off topic from what he's saying, but when you have that mentality, people will want to work for you. You want high performers. Bro, I would kill to have more killer salespeople in my program. I say this every week. I have a bunch of you guys apply, and I appreciate it. I told you before, I want at least 50 former MOA clients to work for the company at some point. Okay? I love paying you guys. I love making money too. I love to pay you. Those of you who are affiliates, shout out to affiliates. Put an A in the chat if you're one of my affiliates. I love paying affiliates. I love this shit. You affiliates get paid every fucking week. That is Miguel's job, to get you paid all the time, okay? Love paying your employees. Love paying them, okay? Now, if they're not doing their job, also you got to get rid of them. But my point is, when you work in a commission-based business, it makes things a lot easier. All right, cool. Let's go to Alexander. What's your question, man?
Sorry, I was looking for the mute button there. Howdy, y'all. So I just got the email about this from like roast.com or whatever that site is.
Yeah.
And
Is
I
it
think more,
roast? It's called roast, right? From
I
Germany.
think, I think so. Yeah. Yeah. So I was
You
like,
guys
you know
put,
what?
put
I had
R in
some,
the chat if you came here from roast.com. Put R in the chat. They're one of our new affiliates. I wanted to welcome them. Put
Cool.
R in the chat. I know you came here. I know some of you guys might not know how to use a chat because you've never done this before. Yeah, here we go. Brady, good to meet you, Brady. Awesome. We're gonna bring this up here in a little bit. Put R in the chat. Thank you. Keep going. What's your question?
yeah, no worries. So for me, you know, I was using roast because it's all for me. It's about social connectivity, but it's social connectivity to find that right person, to find my partner in crime, and you know, go through life's ebbs and flows and adventures with her. And you know, I've done what I can to revamp my different profiles on the different apps. But like, I guess for me, is there like a golden gun way of like kind of an icebreaker or a message to send to you know, kind of like as an intro or an icebreaker to women that you want to connect with on, I don't know, Tinder, Bumble, you know, you name it, the laundry list of all the different damn apps out there.
Alexander, welcome to the Men of Action Mentoring Group, bro. Let me explain to you why this is going to be a little different. Because any opener I give you is not going to mean a hill of shit if we don't fix the rest of it. Do you understand?
I understand. Yeah.
Alexander, no, do you really understand, bro? Like, it has to be a function of life and death. You want a partner you're going to spend the rest of your life with? Bro, let me tell you, a partner in crime, you have to be worth that partner in crime. Do you understand?
Oh, I understand. Yeah.
You really understand what I'm saying, bro. Life and death.
I understand that you got to want to put the work in every day, 24/7 at the end of the day, whether that's about whatever that is, whether it's about getting in shape, whether that's about making yourself be more presentable, whether that's about being hungry and making more money, like whatever it is at the end of the day, it's an equation that all adds up to success. So I get that part of it.
Okay, cool. The girl that I'm seeing now, some girls introduced me to her because all of this was fixed. There was no opening line. Girls were introducing me to her.
Okay.
Okay. Alexander, that has to be an oh. Do you have anything you want to say to this dude? No?
Bro, I say this a lot too. Maybe I'm a little nicer than Michael, but your presentation's got to get fixed before anybody's ever going to answer. It doesn't matter what you say. There's probably a really handsome guy under the glasses and the beard and the foggy glasses and the slick back hair, but you're gonna have to fix that, man. And the good news is I can damn near see it through all that. I mean that with complete love, bro.
No, that's fair. That's fair, man. At the end of the day, I mean,
I almost can't see your eyes through how foggy those glasses are. Your beard's a mess. Your hair's a mess. And I can almost guarantee you that if you spent the next 6 months getting in shape and we fixed a couple of things around fashion, you could call girls dickheads as your first message. Because I can tell you right now, I can go on my Instagram right now and be like, hey, dickhead, to like 10 girls, and probably 8 of them would reply, if not more. And that's because the presentation's there. And I'm not saying you don't have it. I'm just saying that you haven't put it together.
That's fair. And there's no excuses for that. I mean, I could say, oh, I just came from, you know, an 8-hour day, but I work remotely and I didn't, you know, maybe didn't comb my hair today, or you're right, glasses.
Well, just in general, like let's keep it real, man. You look like this every day. And I'm not saying that you look like shit, but I'm telling you that I don't think girls are going to respond to you. And I bet under how tall are you?
5'10".
5'10". How much do you weigh?
170.
Okay. Seems like you're holding it a little high based off the camera angle. But I guess the point I'm making is if there's a very chiseled jawline under there, you could have your grooming in a certain order. And I'm telling you, man, the line won't matter anymore when you put yourself together. And
it's all about physical appearance.
Absolutely not. No.
But I can tell you that's the first and foremost thing that's going to get you in the door of the conversation. There's no woman's going to talk to you because she thinks you're a sweetheart. At most, you'll be her guy friend. She's not going to be your partner. She's not going to be with you for life. And the odd thing about it is just about the time that you get all this shit in order, you're probably going to want to see multiple women because you're going to have choice, bro. And there, I don't think there's a man on this call that can't create that in their life. I genuinely believe that. And you're first in line, because I absolutely know if me and you changed bodies for a year, then you wouldn't have this issue, and you probably wouldn't even have this question because they'd be DMing you.
Alexander,
Yes.
you know what scurvy is?
Yeah. The Pirates of the Golden Age used to get it.
It's a vitamin C deficiency, right?
Yeah.
If you have scurvy, what's the most important thing in the world to get?
Vitamins.
If you have hypogonadism and your testosterone levels are below 100 of total testosterone, what's the most important thing to get?
I don't know. I don't know that fact.
Testosterone. The answer is testosterone. It's not a
Okay.
truth. The answer is testosterone. If you have a boat and there's a hole in the boat, what's the most important thing to do?
Get the hole in the boat fixed, the hole fixed.
Looks are not the most important thing in the world. For you right now, they're the most important thing for you to fix. Does that make sense?
It makes sense.
It's not that it's the most important thing in the world. It's because you have a deficiency. That's why it's most important. It's one of these things where, like, imagine if a guy is totally put together, but his breath smells like sulfur and he's got like shit in his teeth. It doesn't make any difference that everything else is put together. There's a fucking hole in the boat. Do you understand?
I understand.
We have to patch the hole in the boat. It is not that looks are the only thing that matters. It's that let's look at what Rollo says, looks max. We have to looks max what we're doing. Got it?
Got it.
But there's a bunch of other things. It's the way we speak. Do we sound confident? And you have to understand, here's the difference. If an average woman puts an average Instagram up, she actually gets above average returns because men are thirsty and 99% of men are simps, like Andrew says, okay? If an average man puts up an average IG, the difference between average and terrible is 0. Average is terrible. They're the same thing, okay? Exceptional is average for some of these women at the top.
Even average girls, exceptional is average in a lot of cases.
Exactly.
It's crazy, man.
Do you understand? It's like, but the thing is, it's not that this is hard. It's like, it's almost like computer programming. I was a programmer back, when I was in college. Before I knew how to program, programming seemed so hard. Once I understood the fundamentals of how this thing worked, which you can by reading books on evolutionary psychology, books by Dr. David Buss, or books by Simon Stewart Williams, these different Stephen Stewart Williams. If you read these books, you kind of understand the mechanisms, or The Rational Male by Rollo Tomassi, obviously probably the best book for this. If you read these books, you'll kind of understand. I can't expect there to be some averageness, and then I put a cute message on Bumble, and then the woman I deserve shows up. There's no fucking deserve, bro. There's no deserve, right? You eat what you kill. Now here's the other thing, and he was mentioning the thing before. You got to sharpen the iron. The reality is, if you don't have a ton of experience with a lot of women and that perfect woman comes by, you're going to have a hard time. Here's the thing that was most eye-opening to me. When I would meet beautiful women that had all of their shit together, low body count, like came from an incredible family, incredibly physical, like the 10 out of 10. And I'd meet their husbands. Their husbands had fucked like 500 girls. These guys were fucking monsters who had been with hundreds and hundreds of women. Because for a man to be with a lot of women he doesn't lose value. For a woman to be with a lot of men, she does lose value. So this idea that she's going to have a low body count and so are you, and that you're going to deserve her. Let's go ahead. It's 2022, bro. We know better now. We know better now. Let's throw that away. So she doesn't come to you without you perfecting what you already have. Does that make sense?
No, it makes sense. I mean, again, not to be hung up on the whole body count thing. I mean, I've been with I've had relations with women before, and I'm not gonna give a number. There's no brag, right? My horse bigger than your horse kind of crap. But at the end of the day, I really like how you say about it kind of sharpen your tool with your, again, physical appearance at the end of the day. And I think that you're right. I think that what's interesting, if I get anything out of tonight, is something that I think I've been having to tell myself for a while, but not committing to.
Is a better internet connection. I think that's what you need to commit to.
He's not an ugly dude, bro.
Yeah, well, of course.
Under all that shit, I mean, that's fixable.
Let's do something real quick.
Real quick.
He's going to go pee. I need to do something with you guys real quick. For the rest of you guys are in here. Let's see here. Grant. Jordan. Beautiful. I'll be. All right. So check it out. Those of you who came here from a roast, put R in the chat again, one more time. And those of you who have only been on, this is your first call. this is your first call, or you've only been in, you are not in MOA. If you're on this call, you've not in MOA, put a 1 in the chat. If you're here from Rose, put an R in the chat. Beautiful, beautiful. Check it out, man. So here's the thing I want to do for you guys. This is the program right here. It's called the Men of Action Mentoring Group. I'm going to have some of the guys come on and talk about some of the differences that it's made in their life. I love Gishard. Gishard wrote Michael's list of lake count, and then he put his affiliate link in there. Look at this motherfucker. It's hilarious. Yeah, hold on. So here's what I'm going to do, man. Just for you guys to see the Sartain exposed, and then he puts his affiliate code in here. Look at this dirty motherfucker right here. Hey, it's beautiful. Good. I love it. I love it, guys. All right, so guys, check it out. Look in the chat there. If you want to click on this, the one for you guys from Roast, click on that chat click on that link that I put in there. MOA Mentoring Monday call 125. The reason why we want you to do that is because they're one of our new affiliates, and we want to make sure that the guys from Roast get credit. You don't have to pay anything when you click this link. In fact, I want you to be skeptical. I want you to be extremely skeptical about my program. I want you to be extremely skeptical about everything I do. Okay, that's really important to me. The main thing I want you to understand about the program is, well, fuck it. You know what? One of the things in MOA is that we're not the men of dithering, the men of blathering. We're not the men of commenting, right? We're not the men of trauma release. We're not the men of emotion. We're only the men of action. And so as the men of action,
One of the questions I've had for so long is, what is it that makes someone have an abundance lifestyle? Why is it that some people are incredibly desirable? Some people are incredibly good at networking. Some people, everyone wants to just be around. They're the center of the room. What is it that makes these incredible high performers different than the average Joes? My name is Michael Sartain, and I am the founder of the Men of Action program. Over the last 20 years, I have helped thousands of men and women create a more abundant lifestyle, full of high status friends, having access to any single thing you want, sponsors, network. I teach people how to create that abundance in their life. I will teach you how to be the man that other men want to be and other women want to be with. I've identified 4 key areas.
Hey, listen, if you want to see the rest of that, just go to the website that I just sent you. It's a 7-minute thing that we put on there. If you guys are still having trouble with this, this is one of the main things that I want you to do, because we're the Men of Action program. I do not want you to take anything I say at face value. I want you to criticize every single thing I tell you. I want you to be like, no, man, what Michael is saying doesn't matter. It's not the truth, whatever. But when you do that, though, you have to go through all the testimonials, pimp. When you do that, you have to make sure you check everything else that's going on before you start calling me out. That's fine. You can call me out all you want. You can talk about networking isn't real and none of this shit, looks, money, status, black pill dudes, whatever. You can do that if you want. But if you do that, you have to deal with what's on the screen first. You can't pretend like what you're seeing on screen isn't happening. You can't pretend like this isn't real. You can't pretend like this is all made up. You have to understand that what you're seeing on the screen is real. And if you have a problem with it, I will give you 50 testimonials, again, 50, ready, look for me, 50 testimonials explaining to you exactly the F-18 pilot, the guy who broke his neck. My man right here is 5'3" and he's sitting there surrounded by women, right? The dude out here in France, my man out here in London, my man out here in New York, my man out here in Miami, my man out here, he's also in Miami, but like my man, another guy out here in Miami, right? My man out here in Chicago. Testimonial. I want you to be a skeptic. This is my buddy. Dude, this is my buddy right here. He's a fucking PhD in agriculture, throwing photo shoots in Nebraska. On my life, bro. PhD in agriculture, throwing photo shoots in Nebraska. This guy right here. Okay. Grandfather, 47. He's 49-year-old grandfather out there. Okay. My man out here in Israel. My man out here. Listen to me. Listen to me. Guys, go through all of this. My man right here, he does a bunch of photo shoots. Go through the testimonials. Do not take my word on any of it. Click that link. I'm going to put it in there one more time. And we're going to get back to some questions and we'll do this again. Trust me, we actually, my sales team has a bunch of interesting, what's the word I'm looking for? Not discounts, but interesting offers for you. If you guys want to set up, you're going to go through that, watch the video, and then go click on the link, and then you're going to set up a call. If you set up a call, you might hear from me or one of my other sales associates, and then we'll see if the program's right for you. If the program's right for you, awesome. If the program's not right for you, we have a bunch of other stuff that we're going to give you too, because we definitely want to keep you in the system. We want to keep growing this community. That's what the Discord server is for. That's what the free Facebook group is for. That's what these free Monday calls are for, and that's what the Michael Sartain podcast is for. The Michael Sartain podcast is an ancillary part of this program. Also, one other thing I want to let you guys know, when you join the Discord server, number one, there's a 28 book list that is required reading for all members of the Men of Action mentoring program. We'll give that to you for free, even if you don't join the program, okay? That's the first thing. Number two, we have lists. So if you start up in different cities, we have a Miami list, an LA list. These are lists of like thousands of girls that we build our list from whenever we do our invites. You get those for free when you join the program. Additionally, we'll explain to you the first 6 rules of MOA. Rule number 1 is we don't listen to the words. Rule number 2 is evolutionary psychology explains all human behavior. We also go over the first 4 steps of MOA whenever you join the Discord server as well. So what I want you guys to do one more time is, if you are interested, click on that link. Make sure you have that link going on, and we're going to keep going with more questions until somebody drops. Ready? Let's try it. We're going to try Alejandro one more time. Nope, we're looking at this office. Hey, shout out to Alejandro, man. This is like funny as shit. Like his chair is just sitting there. It's like he got diarrhea and he just got stuck and he was never able to come back. Michael James, what's your question, man? Hey, Michael,
Yes, sir. This one, just a quick one.
We already got to you. We need to get to people that we haven't got on here yet, okay?
Oh, yeah, sure. Okay, I can wait.
Okay, cool. Let's guys, let other people ask a question real quick. So Henrik Sangari? Hirthik Sangari. Okay, cool. Uzo, what's your question?
Hey,
Mr. Sartain. What's going on, man?
Oh.
When do you guys start talking?
All right. I am going to take this. I'm sorry, mate.
Get the rebound. Go ahead. What's the question?
What's going on, Mike? Hello, Jay. Justin. Good meeting you guys in real time. Question. I have 2 questions actually. Basically, how do you deal with close friends when you're actually changing and self-improving? So they're not as driven as you are. Example, they're really good in finances, but they're not willing to hit the gym hard with you and do things like that. And the second question is, did you have to learn and practice camera etiquette? Because I noticed most of the time I'm comparing how you guys are sitting very poised and very stoic. I'm noticing maybe that came from practice, or it's something that is natural over time. Did you have to learn that, or did you have to practice it?
I think it's very important to be self-aware when it comes to body language. So I'm always trying to create some kind of frame. I'm either going to sit like I'm sitting right now, or I'm going to cross my leg, but I am paying attention to it. I do feel, I like to think about how it would look from the outside looking in, because body language is so fucking important in life. I think it sends a message. I think it's always important to act stoic to some degree. I think people that like to overly joke, unless the situation's right, kind of get looked at as a clown. And it's hard to respect a person that kind of is acting like a clown, can't really respect themselves. So that, in regards to the body language is very, very important. In regards to your friends that don't want to work out and get better, man, you got to find new friends, bro. You're going to leave a lot of friends behind in life. But here's the truth of the matter. If your friends don't want to get better with you, they're not going to give a shit when you fail. And so you're not going to be able to do anything but look back at yourself and blame yourself for not upgrading your friends, your situation, or moving on without them. You know, it's life. I don't want to say life is completely player versus player, because I believe in friends and I believe in creating tribes, but you might need to look for a different tribe.
What if it still has some good qualities? You just have to still cut it off and keep moving.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean that anybody has to be wrong. Maybe it's just not time to be. Maybe it's not time to give them as much of your energy at this point in life. A lot of times when I disconnect from friends, there's no big blow up. I just go my own direction, and we haven't seen each other for a while. I don't need to sit them down and tell them that, hey, I think you're a lazy piece of shit because you make money but you're fat. I just go about my business and find people that can bring good things to my life, and I can give that in exchange. I want to find people as much like me as possible. That way I can live in my own truth without guilt, and I can be inspired all the time. It's inspiring to be friends with Michael. You know, it's inspiring to be friends with Andrew. It's inspiring to have Brandon Carter over here and talk to him about things like that. It keeps me sharp, because especially like when I go back to Louisiana and I look around and there's nobody even close to push me in any area. So I have Michael for things. Dude, if I have a question about networking, I'll call Michael. If I have a question about, something else, I might call Brandon or Myron or Andrew or Tristan or whoever. or somebody from, my business mentor. So, man, I don't think you should ever apologize for creating space between between you and someone that does not make you better in every way. And I am very, very adamant about living my life non-apologetically, specifically in that particular way.
All right. Thank you for that. Appreciate it.
Hey, Uzo, one other thing, as you level up, it's gonna feel weird. So two things you need to remember. If when I tell you something that creates success in your life, if it felt good, then everyone would already be doing that thing. So whenever I tell you to do a thing, whatever it is, hey, like for instance, I tell guys, stop listening to music, start using all your free time in your car while you're eating or in the gym, listening to audiobooks. When I do that, a lot of guys are like, well, no, that's awkward. I don't really like that. Or when I tell them, hey, you need to post more on social media to engage with your audience, they're like, no, I don't want to do that. If I tell you something that creates success, it's always going to feel awkward. Okay. Now look at the delta, the friction between where you are in your growth and then the people who are not doing those things that make them feel uncomfortable. That delta is going to create the awkwardness. Do you understand what I mean by delta? The change over time, right? That change over time is going to create an awkwardness, and it's always going to happen. The first time it happens, I'm like, man, I fucking feel like an asshole. I didn't go hang out with my homies. I had a buddy of mine just right now. I think he just got off the call because he was bored. He's a guy I grew up with. He goes, your call seems boring. I'm like, yeah, because you like being poor. That's why my call seems boring. That's what happens. So like for a lot of people, it's really important to understand that when they're not in that mindset, you're like, well, one thing is, you guys, we're not made of glass, right? It doesn't just go through us. If we hang out with people who want to be poor, it's going to change you. You have to understand that networking is an evolutionary adaptation. You're going to your ego is going to create an identity for you based on the people you hang around. So a lot of times it's not just that you hang out with these 5 people that pull you forward. It's that these people who are not pulling you forward, you can't spend as much time dealing with them. Does that make sense? And it seems very cruel, but what's really cruel is you not meeting your potential. While this 80 years you have on this planet, that's actually what's really cruel.
No, that's a travesty.
Gonna give a fuck.
Yeah, they won't.
They're not gonna give a fuck that you didn't hit your dreams, bro. Yeah. In fact, if anything, you've made them feel comfortable. A lot of the friction you're gonna get when you start making yourself better and you start to disconnect is that you've changed. They're gonna try to guilt you back into that cycle so they don't have to feel comfortable with their inactions. I'm telling you, man, you got to be ruthless about this, or you'll be the person to hate yourself, not them.
Amen to that. Thanks a lot, gents. Appreciate it.
I do.
Beautiful, man. Hey, Rick, what's your question?
Hey, Michael. By the way, it's pronounced Rithik. The H is silent.
Okay, beautiful.
So first off, before I say anything, just real quick to you two, thank you guys so much for the content you do. Really appreciate it. It's helped me out a lot. So keep up the good work, please. So my first question is, what is both of your guys' opinions of when guys go into STEM fields as a career? More specifically,
you're gonna ask us about Kanye, goddammit. All right, go ahead. Go ask about STEM fields. Go ahead.
I'm asking the boring questions. But pros and cons with STEM versus entrepreneurship, because and Michael, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but MOA I know is more geared towards guys who are leaning towards entrepreneurship.
Yeah, go ahead. Justin, sorry, my contact came out.
You need a mirror?
No, I got it.
So look, man, not everybody's built for entrepreneurship. I don't know what Mike is going to say about this, but there are plenty and maybe even more millionaires that work for companies than there are entrepreneurs. Most entrepreneurs fail, man. So one thing I would ask myself, though, let's say you were going to be a doctor. Well, doctor is nothing more than a technician in a business. He's not an entrepreneur, and he's really not a manager. He's just a very, very high paid doctor. If you think that you're going to be happy trading time for money for the rest of your life until you can either invest in real estate or something else that can pay you, and you can go to the same place and be happy about what you do and enjoy your 2 weeks to 3 weeks vacation and live that 9 to 5 life, if that is for you, then I'm not going to come around and tell you that it's not the right decision. But I think only you can answer that question. For me, it's not personally for me because I kind of want to be able to have the ball in my court at all times. And there's no amount of money that I would be willing to trade to make the transition to tying down to one location. But in regards to your success financially, I think a lot of people, especially high paid technicians, doctors, maybe stem cells, I don't know how much you guys make, but those guys do substantially better than the average entrepreneur for sure. And I'd say most. I think it just comes down to a question of what you want for your life.
Yeah, man. Like, I mean, I'll just real quick, just some background. Like, so I lost my mom to cancer in 2017. So it's part of that's like a lot of the motivation why I want to go into oncology specifically.
Yeah.
So, I mean, actually, to use your terminology, it was from Fresh and Fit. You said something about like girls, like, just give your man a break. He's at work fighting dragons. So it's just kind of
for
like,
sure,
like,
man.
oh,
Yes.
yeah, it's like I want to go. The work I want to do is I want to go to work and I want to go to work like the same dragons that took my mom away. So it's just that's just kind of what I want to do.
I wouldn't go down a career path to avenge that death, man. I think
it's not a. It's I don't look at it as avenging a death. It's just like it's like a gut thing. It's like, okay, like, do I see myself? Can I see myself as an entrepreneur? I can, but it's like just as a gut thing. Like it feels right.
Okay, so
and I like
as a practicing oncologist, you will be an entrepreneur, right?
As a practicing oncologist, I will.
I mean, unless if you're working for a hospital, obviously, but outside of that, if you specialize, you will be an entrepreneur.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I don't think I mean, academics is great, but I don't know if I would go that route. I'd probably go like private practice if I had.
Well, if you have private practice, that's a business. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and there you go.
Okay, so again, you're conflating, or you're not conflating. You're conflicting two different ideas and saying they're different. Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. What you asked for about is STEM, and as far as being an entrepreneur, they are the same. Like even like you understand those coders that work at Google, they're only going to do it for a while. They've got a CV. They might have an LL. They've got their CV set up. You know, their resume. They've got an LLC. They probably got somebody who does their taxes. They have to market themselves in different ways. They are entrepreneurs. Now they may be working in a 9 to 5 for certain periods of their time, but most of those guys are just hired hunters. They're only going to be hired guns. They're going to be there for a while.
They're project based.
Project based, correct. The W9 guys. That's what's going to happen. You're always you're both. You're always an entrepreneur, right? You just like everyone has a personal brand. When my entrepreneurship section in the first part of MOA, this is about the efficiency in your life. I'm definitely not dissuading you from getting. Obviously, I have a minor in astrophysics. I'm not dissuading you from getting into STEM fields. I love STEM fields. My point is, for you guys to understand is that I want you to understand, as far as entrepreneurship, you need to do the thing that is most effective for you personally. You can make a lot of money in oncology. Do you want to hold the wife's hand when you have to tell the husband that he's got stage 4 pancreatic cancer? Is that something you want to do for a living? They'll pay you a lot of money. They will pay you a lot of fucking money. Is that something you really want to do?
Well, that's the thing. I've thought about that question, right? So it's like I've been through that I'm not as a patient, but I was the patient's family when that was going through. So that's part of the reason why I want to do that is like
there's a fear. Somebody's got to do it, right?
Someone's got to do it. And I mean, if it's got to be me, then I don't have a problem.
Yeah. When I was in the military, it was the same kind of thing. If one of the other crews was down, we would take their shifts, even if we hadn't slept the night before. We would always, because somebody's got to do it. I know I did 2 tours back to back one time because one of my, the other Navs had a kid, and it was like, I would rather him be able to spend time with his kid. Somebody's got to do it. I totally understand that feeling. My point is, you know, oncology is a very easy one. Like he talks about becoming useful to other men. Oncology is about as easy as you can get as far as getting useful to other men, right? Because you're saving people's lives, curing cancer. But the issue with this is you need to figure out, is this something that you love? The school for oncology is fucking brutal. Do you understand?
Okay.
It is. So that's just something that you need to decide if you want to do personally. But I'm not going to dissuade you from being an entrepreneur or being in the STEM field.
Perfect. And then just I want to ask, do either of you guys know any physicians, either personally or in your own groups, either
yes,
MOA
they're in Men of Action. Yes,
right, or the War Room for Justin, that have kind of, to use Andrew Tate's terminology, escaped the matrix to a degree? I'm just curious what they have, like, what you've seen they've done.
I don't know a doctor that's not trading time for money.
Okay.
What do you mean by, like, specifically, what do you mean by escape the matrix?
I guess if I had to define it, like, you have money freedom.
Lengthening telomeres? Or are you talking about hydrochloroquine? What are you talking about? Escape the matrix.
So I guess to define it, I guess it would be you have the money freedom, the time freedom, and the location freedom.
Yes. Okay. Yes. But those doctors write books and then they go on CNN and travel the world. And there's like, you want to know a doctor like that? Dr. Phil. That would be an example of that kind of doctor.
But he also does a show every day.
Yes.
Yeah. So
to show up.
I guess you're kind of making a sacrifice
Practicing medicine is not going to be real estate or anything passive. You know, you're actively making that money, bro.
Gotcha. And then Michael, I just had a last question for you is
hey, you want to see it? You want to see a practicing ER doctor that escaped the
I was
matrix?
going to ask you about your friend. He was an ER doctor.
Here's an ER doctor that escaped the matrix. This is Dre Smalls. Shout out to Dre. Yeah, there's quite a few medical doctors in Men of Action. There's Dr. Mike in Fort Lauderdale. Dre Smalls is an ER doctor in Las Vegas. There's a lot of I don't know what you call this. I call this escaping the matrix. There's Dre right there in the middle. Yeah,
that's definitely escaping the I have to have a wife and kids and only one or I can only have one woman matrix.
Yeah.
But the guy still has to go to work every day unless I'm mistaken.
For sure.
I think personally, I wouldn't mind the going to work because I just find that meaningful. Definitely the wife thing. I've been thinking about that. So maybe.
I do know one guy legitimately escaped the matrix who did that. It was Dr. Chris Corsandi. He owns VIP plastic surgery, and he took his wealth and converted it into real estate and some other investments, and now he's going to retire.
How do you spell that last name?
Huh?
How do you spell that last name? Chris
Corsandi. Just look up Doc Vegas on Instagram. DOC Vegas. He's got a blue check mark. Doc Vegas. He's done that. He's ramped his practice down where he doesn't really do much of the surgery anymore. He's got an incredibly successful plastic surgery practice. He and I go to games together all the time. He's a great example of a person who's like he's gotten into several other ventures that have made him a lot of money, and now he's retiring from that.
Great. And then the last question for you, Michael, is look, I'm in my gap year. I'm working a 9 to 5 in the cancer lab, in the wet lab that I talked to you about last time.
Wet labs. Here we go.
Yeah. But my question to you is
we're not on YouTube. How does that COVID taste? You're in a fucking wet lab, bro? That's oh my God. Keep going.
Is MOA right for me? Is my question to you. Even though like I'm not looking to be an entrepreneur necessarily. Well, no. We've clarified that question. I kind of guess I kind of am in that sense. But is MOA right for me? Working a 9 to 5. I'm 22. You know, I'm trying to just like on this like long path to becoming a physician. So
I mean, so my question is, do you understand that networking is an evolutionary adaptation? Like this is a way for you to get away. Okay, so you understand that. Do you understand that networking you can use this to help you in your dating life?
Absolutely.
Are you interested in doing better in your dating life?
Yes.
Okay. Do you understand that networking, Raj, who's on there talking about, he got a job at a huge bank recently by using some of the stuff we talked about. Do you understand networking as an adaptation to help you get a better job?
Yes, sir. That's how I got my research job.
Beautiful. Do you understand networking is an adaptation in order to network with higher status individuals?
Yes.
Which, by the way, you will be doing if you're in MOA this first day you get in. You get that?
Yes, sir.
Unequivocally, yes, you should join Men of Action. Yeah.
And then as far as like payment goes, because I know it's like $3,000. Just is there different plans and stuff? Is that something I can find out?
You're gonna need to call. You're gonna need to set up a call for that.
Okay, cool.
We have a thing in the U.S. military called "Stay in Your Lane." I do not tell the sales guys what to do. You want to know something? Somebody told me the other day how much MOA costs. I didn't know.
Oh, really?
You want to know why? You want to know why? I don't want to treat you any differently because you paid me $50,000 versus $2,000.
Mm-hmm.
I don't treat anybody any differently. Okay, that's why I don't get involved in that. Set up a call. Okay.
Hey, bro, I'm part of Mike's team. I'll reach out to you. I got you.
There you go, Tristan.
What's up, Tristan? My God.
Tristan,
what's up, Justin? Where's the suit, man?
Co-eds at Harvard. You need to picture your hair still.
Bro, I can't believe you couldn't talk this motherfucker out of leaving, bro.
Harvard, but it's Harvard.
I don't give a fuck.
He's going to Harvard. He's my lead sales guy.
I don't care. I'm still beefing you over this.
He's literally at Harvard right now. Yeah. So he's taking a winter break off, and he's going to be full time with us for a while.
Nice. Good to see you, bro.
You too, man.
That's my guy, man. Love
you. Go. Cool. Let's go to Woody. Woody, what's your question?
Yo, what's up, Michael? Justin, good to see you again.
Before we go on, let me make sure you guys see it one more time in the chat. You guys have made the funniest affiliate links. There's like Michael Sartain exposed. Some of these are hilarious. Find out what happened to Alejandro. They put their affiliate link in there. It's so funny.
I think someone else linked your nudes too. Apparently.
Yeah, it's like Michael Sartain's nudes, and they put the affiliate link. All right, guys, so click that right there. For those of you with Roast who came over here from Roast, please make sure you click that link. We want to make sure we give them the credit for being one of our newest affiliates. So for those of you who came from there for roast dating, make sure you click that link right there, and then we'll make sure they get the credit. And listen, watch the video. Tell me if it's entertaining. What I really want is for one of you guys to watch the video, watch all the testimonials, and if you decide not to buy, tell me why the fuck you didn't, because I'm very curious. I would like to know if I have any feedback. What I'm going to find though is that once you guys go through the testimonials, it's going to be pretty hard for you to not join us. So I'm pretty excited to see you guys. Mike roast talk. There he is. That's hilarious. All right, man. What's your question, brother?
All right. So first off, I want to thank you guys for your time. Michael, nice to meet you. Justin, good to see you again. So my question is, first off, I live in Miami, 24 years old. I run a social media marketing agency doing like short form video content. And aside from that, I'm kind of curious. I have like quite a few like girlfriends, right? Like I feel like I'm definitely MOA material. And I spend a lot of time with multiple different women in Miami. I moved out here a year ago, so it's a little bit from Michigan. So it's a little bit of a different environment from Michigan. So I'm still kind of learning and trying to get used to it. But my question is, how do I go from essentially, just to put it very bluntly, fucking all these girls individually to kind of bringing them together and maybe like not having sexual relations with some, and like how do I use that strategically to become like a promoter, club promoter, host, something like that?
Hey, there's first off, this is the part where we usually turn off the recording. Number one. Number two is Godwin on. If Godwin's on, he would be the best person. First thing I want you to do is
I know Godwin. Yeah, I know Godwin.
Go in the Discord server and have a conversation with Godwin. Godwin is a great person to talk to when it comes to this whole thing. Cool. So do you have any advice for him as far as this is concerned?
No, not to become a club. Man, this is not my lane.
Okay. All right. So as far as the club promoter thing, this is the thing about being a club promoter. Okay. If you want to go or be a VIP host, you understand in Las Vegas, we have two different positions. A VIP host is above a promoter. In New York and Los Angeles, it's just one position. You just have a promoter. The guy who walks girls into a table and sells the table is called a promoter. We don't have that position. Does not exist in Las Vegas. We have a VIP host. You guys call them the same, similar thing. I don't want to get too far into this because in Vegas, we're completely corporate. So there's two different pay scales.
Right.
The thing I want to explain to you is for all of you out there who have just this incredible problem with giving yourself permission, I'm not telling you to become a club promoter for the rest of your life, but it is a good job to have for a summer or two to really break you out of your shell. Okay. I will tell you this job, if you want to get into high ticket sales, being a club promoter for a while is not the worst thing in the world to do. The thing is you're like grinding constantly. You are absolutely trading money for time. Okay, so be careful with that. But when you're young, I don't dissuade people from doing this. Also, if you could get a job managing a strip club, I'd recommend doing that. If you get a job as a host at a nightclub, I'd recommend doing for that. For 1 or 2 years tops. Do not spend 10 years doing this job. But it really helps you as far as social calibration. Have any put a one in the chat as if this ever happened to you? You walked up to a club and you automatically knew the door guy wasn't going to let you in. Has that ever happened to you before? You just kind of feel that like fucking weird vibe. Has that ever happened? Put a one in the chat. That's happened to me a million times. If that's ever happened to you guys before, you have it happened to you, Dennis? Yeah, for sure. The reason why that is because when you work in that nightlife, you're so attuned to everything that's going on. Very much like if you've ever dealt with special forces individuals and there's just like this thing in the air. They just kind of know some shit is about to go down. It's the same kind of shit with club promoters. They know when you're fucking weird. They know, because they're around so many dudes. When you walk up and there's just something wrong with you. If you live in Las Vegas and you're a local and you walk up with your local ID and they don't let you in the club, you did something wrong. There's something in the presentation that smells funny, looks funny, hair is fucked up. The walk is, something's wrong. Okay. I love that job to calibrate you just for 1 summer or two. You still with me?
Yeah.
You're almost like you're basically interning to be a male whore for a couple, years or whatever.
Yeah. And I'm pretty good at that already.
Okay. So the first thing I'm gonna tell you is number one, I want you to connect with Godwin. Number two, I need you to connect with Michael Bai in New York. Okay.
Michael Bai.
He's really new to this. Number three, you absolutely positively, before the end of the next week is over, you must finish the book of Very Important People by Professor Ashley Mears from Boston University. Okay. You must finish that book.
Okay. Sounds good. I guess a quick follow-up question.
And that by the way, that book alone will answer the question totally. But as far as this whole thing is concerned, it's not really going to be that difficult. My whole point, the whole thing is this: the biggest thing I can tell you is like Regina George in that movie Mean Girls. Like they all did whatever she did because she was like the fucking boss. It's like that with women. It's just, that's the easiest thing. Like if you're sleeping with the hottest girl in the group, all the rest of the girls will come to everything you do.
Okay, fair enough.
This is a life. This is a 50-year-old promoter trick that they've known forever.
Yeah. Yeah. And I guess in my situation, it's like one girl here, one girl there. It's not like, you know, I have one, you know what I mean? So like, I'm trying to figure out how can I like bring all of them together, you know, without like continuously hooking up with all of them.
No, so you don't need to continually hook up with them, but I introduce women who I've been sleeping with together all the time. It's not a problem because I don't make it weird.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay?
Yeah.
We can go over, like, this is a real in-depth discussion I would love to have with you, but I will give it to you very, very, the most succinct way I can. Whether or not I am sleeping with a girl and whether or not a girl likes me have nothing to do with each other. Often women who do not like me have sex with me. Often women who are madly in love with me will not have sex with me because they're afraid of getting their heart broken.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So this idea that she is having sex with me because we are initiating a romantic relationship, get that 1950 shit out of your head. That is not what's happening.
100%.
Women often sleep with men they do not like personally. Now they don't sleep with men they're not attracted to, but you can very much put someone off very quick. I love saying this all the time. Hey, fuck that guy Andrew Tate. What's his phone number? I get that from girls all the time. You know what I'm saying? Or my favorite is I take girls over to Bilzerian's house and they're like, I would never sleep with Dan Bilzerian right before they sleep with Dan Bilzerian, right? Yeah. Women frequently sleep with men they don't like and frequently don't sleep with men they do like. Whether or not she's sleeping with you and whether or not you're having, whether or not she likes you have nothing to do with each other. Also, do you sleep with your female friends? 85% of the women I sleep with are my female friends.
Right.
Yes. Which is why I agree with him about not letting your girl have fucking guy friends. That's why. I actually agree with him because I've been on the other side of it. I live in Las Vegas. That's where the guy friends pop up. You understand? Like if he had a sister that was fucking doing girls' night in Las Vegas, I'd be there to shop her up. I'd be like, nah, bro, she's not going to Thunder from Down Under. Nah.
Yeah, exactly.
Nah.
Yeah. I guess one more question.
But real quick before we go on, you know, Rich Cooper, right? He came up with the term Chad Thundercock. You remember that? Right? There's a dude named Chad who works at Thunder from Down Under who runs through every fucking cocktail waitress in Las Vegas. His name is Chad and he works at Thunder from Down Under. It's like every time I see him, I'm like, that's Chad Thundercock right there. It's so fucking funny.
In the flesh.
His girlfriend was one of the girls on my podcast, the one that was working for Dan Bilzerian. That was his girlfriend. Yeah. It was really funny. All right, cool. Go with your question.
Yeah. So my second question was, as far as like having multiple girlfriends, and this is more of like a recent scenario that happened. I was with one girl 2 nights ago who I'd like been seeing pretty frequently, and she found an earring like in my bed that I like didn't take out. You know, I didn't see it. I didn't notice it.
What happened? She found an earring the last girl left for her.
Yes,
that's actually what happened. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Bitches do that shit.
Yeah.
No, 100%. I know that girls do this shit. But my question is how I went about it. I don't know if I went about it the right way. So what happened is she finds the earring. She didn't say, what's this? She says, you had another girl over. And I kind of was like, what? Let me see that. And then I look at it, I was like, okay, you caught me. I was like, you caught me. And I don't know if I went about the right way because I was very blunt with her. I was like, yeah, like I had another girl over. She's like, when? I was like, earlier this week. And she like fucking ran off all upset. Yeah. So I was curious. My question is on that. Did I go about it the right way? How would you have gone about that situation?
Justin, how would you go about this?
I'll tell you how I do go about it is I completely fucking own it. Yeah, she's hot and you would like her. And I showed her a picture of you and she thinks you're hot. That's exactly what I would say.
Okay, for sure.
Dude, you got to full own it. You didn't get caught. So what about it? You know, I should invite both of y'all over. Bro, you got to completely own that shit full send with conviction. If she thinks she's got you on your heels, she is going to fucking bury you, bro. You better not say, I'm sorry. You're not fucking sorry.
Yeah, I'm not.
You know what I'm saying? It's the deceit that bothers women the most. They already know in their gut that you're going to be fucking women, especially if you have any value about you. So owning it fully is how I always handle it. And you would be shocked. I am even personally shocked at the amount of women that say that I can fuck as much as I want as long as I give them my time. I am shocked at it. I mean, long-term, multiple girlfriends in multiple countries sending me nudes every day, local, Miami, Louisiana, everywhere, LA, all over. And I could pull, and they know I'm fucking other women.
Right.
They're attracted to it.
Yeah.
They're attracted to it.
I think it was,
make her more attracted to you. In my opinion, that's how I handle it.
Yeah,
So
100%.
full conviction, man.
Okay.
Woody, the main thing is honesty. It really is just you have the ability to be honest about it. That's the main situation. The other issue is, it's a function of like, you just need to understand that like, this is something that I found out throughout my whole life. They just leave shit at your house because they like you, and that's fine. They're like, and they probably don't even realize that they're doing it. That kind of stuff happens. But like you said before, it's one of these things where, I really think this is just my own quote here. For women, the cheating is the deception, and for men, the cheating is the penetration. Like for me, it is the actual sex that is the cheating, and for a lot of women, it's just you lied to them, and that was the issue that happened.
Right.
The last thing is, did you set a frame beforehand with this girl? Was she your girlfriend?
No, we did not have a frame before.
Okay, so yeah, then I would actually change the meta of the entire conversation to something to the effect of like, we have not had a discussion about us being in a monogamous relationship. So you asking me what I'm doing with another girl, it's kind of uncomfortable. We haven't had this discussion.
Yeah, of course. I guess my whole thing was, and I never lied to her. I was honest with her. I was like, I basically like, yeah, you caught me. I fucked her. Yeah. I just like shrugged it off like it was nothing. You know what I mean? Because it really wasn't. It was just a one night stand, whatever. But like, yeah, I just shrugged it off like, yeah, you caught me.
I would just change that word. You caught me.
Okay. Yeah. That's yeah.
And here's a good example.
You glorified me.
Yeah. Yeah.
You glorified
like, what about it? You gotta be the big boss, bro. Yeah, what about it?
Yeah, you're 100% right.
But look at the difference between Tiger Woods and Derek Jeter.
Okay.
Right? Tiger Woods got caught, bro. Bill Clinton got caught.
Right.
Derek Jeter said, I'm about to fuck that one and that one. What about it? And nobody's got beef with him. It's the deceit that bothers not just women, but people.
Right.
So, one thing I like to do when I'm back in Louisiana and I have any kind of business relation, if anything on the subject of lifestyle comes up, I go ahead and unveil the fact that I run game all the time on my main chick.
Right.
That way, when there's some kind of and that my chick and the chick knows, that way they don't think I'm playing Billy the Baptist. They already know I told them. So that way I can be accepted. It's the deceit that bothers people.
Right.
So, man, you got to be Derek Jeter, bro. You just got to call it how it is. Now the conversations come up. Hey, look, I really care about you. I want to take it seriously. Obviously, you know how men are wired. Women know, bro. If she really loves you, she ain't going to leave you over that.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
no,
I mean, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I think that's a good takeaway. Just like fully fucking owning it. Just, like, fully owning it. Yeah. Yeah. Literally being like, yeah, she's cute. You get along. Like,
yeah. I showed her a picture of you. She thinks you're hot, bro. That's my
yeah, I fuck with that.
It's difficult because this is a person you have empathy for. You're not a psychopath.
Yeah.
And then when you tell her, hey, I was with someone else, it's very hard. Like, it's hard. You don't want to do it. But the reality situation is, and I don't have to explain it. It's so funny how I never have to explain this to men, but I do have to explain this to some women. Fully, you understand that you could be in a committed relationship with that girl, still have the one night stand, and the one night stand has no effect on your relationship whatsoever.
Little advice I'd give you on that is create the mental construct between queen and one of them hoes. No, I'm serious.
Yeah, you're right.
So me and my chick, we call them whoopies. Hey, let's get some whoopies over. I'm constantly like, calling them whoopies, because that way, when it's you and your main chick, the main chick's getting the kingdom, the castle, and everything, and then you two have an inside joke against the hoes that they think they can get you, but they never will. Yeah. Jokes on the whoopies, bro.
Yeah.
Create that construct for your girl where she knows, and you tell her, I will never fucking leave you. And it's true, bro. Why would you leave her if she's giving you that life?
Exactly right, dude. If I have a woman who gives me that life 100%, I would never leave. Every time I've been in a relationship like that, she has to end it. I'm so happy. I would prefer, and regardless of being with like multiple women and them all being equal, or having one main girl, and she just understands that I'm a man that other women desire, I would take that 100 times out of 100. And that way I can never lie to her. There's no stress, and she brings me peace. God damn, there's nothing I would want more than that. Yeah, absolutely.
I hate to keep going on with this, but there's so much to say about this particular subject, man. Is make her feel a part of it, dude. Be like, baby, I'm not even trying to leave you out. I think that we should bring, like, you like blondes or brunettes. Find out, bro. make her a part of it. Like, baby, we'll bring some whoopies over, sleep with them, kick them the fuck out so we can cuddle and watch Netflix.
By the way, the girls are more about kicking them out than you are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bro, I'm
Have you
telling
seen
you.
that shit? The girls are like, did that fucking hoe leave? I'm like,
Yeah.
babe, goddamn.
Yeah,
Like,
bro, I'm
hey,
telling
did you
you.
get home safe? And she's in the fucking, she's doing her makeup like, did that bitch get home okay? Did she
Yeah.
fucking leave? I'm like, damn, girl, she's
Yeah.
a human. She's
Yeah.
a human. We just use
It's
her.
true, but
Yeah,
what women really, they don't care about sexual exclusivity as much as we do. They care about position.
Yeah.
You have to let her know that she has a position. Create those frames with her, bro, if you actually care about her.
Yep.
And I advise you do this. If you find a girl you don't care about as much and try to create that frame when you have nothing on the line, when your heart's not on the line,
Yeah.
and that'll kind of help you, go through the motions of seeing it for the first time. I'll never forget when Tristan had me wrangling. The first time I ever wrangled, and wrangling is when you book multiple girls to the same party and they're supposed to be on a date with you and you're stacking them on top of each other. And when the first time I got caught in a wrangle and I slept with both girls that night, and I realized, like, they're not going to do anything. They both like once they caught me, I'm like, yeah, I invited her, and by the way, I invited those other two over there, and bro, you'll be shocked at how many women will stay. Really.
Yeah. Yeah. Love that. Okay. A couple other things before I go. Michael, who can I talk to as far as joining Men of Action?
Click this right here. No, just click that link right there.
Click the link. Okay. Sounds good. And do you mind if I plug my social media services for Miami?
What's up, man? Yeah.
Yo, okay, so I'll leave it in the chat at Mike_Woody on Instagram. If you guys need any social media content, photo, video, short form video, podcast, whatever, hit me up, DM me. If your Instagram looks like shit, like you're a pedophile, hit me up. I'll fucking help you guys out.
Dude, the affiliate guys, you guys are killing it right now. It's incredible. All right, man. Let's see here. Austin, what's your question, brother?
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, man.
All right,
Thank you,
bro.
Woody. Austin, what's your question?
I have a question for Justin. So you work in the construction industry as a contractor and steel. I'm an intern architect. What do you look for when working with architects or other people within like your field and space, like for construction?
Yeah, so I kind of indirectly work with architects because we're a big subcontractor. So for me, choosing the architect's not going to matter as much. That for me, it would come down to maybe a manufacturer. But in regards to working with people in the construction space, particularly my clients, which are contractors, you can find a lot about a company by asking other subs or asking other people that dealt, especially when it comes around and things like that. So as a subcontractor, one of the number one things I'm concerned with is to get paid, and so working with contractors that have a good track record with subs, that have a good track record of paying people, not beating subs up, things like that. That's what I'm personally looking for. So I hope that answers the question, man, but you can normally ask around in the space and get all the information you need about a company in construction, because all it is a bunch of projects happening all over a region. And most of the time, all those different things that come together to make a building, they're going to know one another. And so Michael says this about networking, he says circle people. So you can circle the person you want to know about without that person ever knowing, bro. You'll know everything you need to know.
You there? You gotta unmute yourself.
Another question. So what do you look for, I guess, when you're working with other people in that space? I'm just trying to get information because you work at a high level in a major city. I'm in Atlanta. So what would be the best like skills that you would like when working with people like in different departments? Like I said, because I'm in architecture, so what different departmental fields when you're communicating with different people do you look for?
What are you doing right now? Like what is your job?
Architect.
What's that?
Intern architect.
Architect.
So I'm just trying.
Oh, you're an architect. So are you looking for clients?
No, I'm just looking for different skill sets that I can learn now. I just started my job a few months ago. So I'm just looking for
you want to be an architect.
I do, at least I think I do. I just started. So I'm just trying to learn skills.
Well, look, man, I mean, if you're going to be an architect, being an architect is completely different from being a project manager. So I think architects way up there in the food chain is directly connected to the owner. I think you're going to learn a shitload about construction being an architect. I don't think you're on the wrong path. If you want to be in construction, staying in the field of being an architect is a very, very good one to be in. It's way up at the top of the food chain, like way up there. You know, I mean, really just the owner, and then the owner hires the architect hires the general contractors, the general contractors hire the subs, and then there may be second tier subs and some vendors involved. But architects way up on the food chain, I think it'll really help you understand high power people, owners, the food chain going down in construction and how to manage a project, and also maybe a little bit of real estate, man, because those budgets and schedules and timelines all come in around the cost of money and the bridge loans that take the construction loans to long-term financing. So I think you're in a good place if you want to be in the construction field, man. I'd stay in the architect field.
Yeah, I also have a rental property with my parents that we did full renovation. So I've been doing I've done house stuff, and I'm been working on like a multi-million-dollar project right now for a landscape firm in Atlanta. So that's our first project we're working on. So I'm just trying to figure out skill sets that would help my company, myself, just communication between different departments. So
are you a freelance architect that works for bigger architects?
No, so the firm has multiple different locations. I'm just a part of one of the firms in Atlanta. That makes sense.
Yeah, man. I would keep doing that, man, and then join a bunch of organizations. You know, join all the groups.
Good. I appreciate it.
All right, brother.
Beautiful, Austin. Let's keep going here. Raj, let's go to, let's do one more time with Alejandro because it's funny.
Hey,
he's there.
I'm back.
Alejandro, you were there. It was a nasty poop, bro. You had like an hour-long dookie. What happened there?
I just dumped it out, man. Just dumped it out. He
was like 325 the last time I was on the call. What's the question?
I wanted to just give you a little. I went into a poetry reciting event.
Ramsey's gonna recite some fucking poetry.
Yeah, you want some poetry?
What the fucking call is it? What the fuck is going on, Ramsey? All right, here we go.
I did that. I mean, so I got a really important feedback loop from it.
Let me do something real quick.
Is he serious?
Yes, dude. It's insanity. Hold on. Hey, babe, Kylie, start your video. He's gonna say it to you. Kylie, no, start your video, Kylie. Just start your video. There we go. There we go, baby. Okay, cool.
What's up, Kylie?
There we go. Nice. Hold on. Wait. Don't
What's
move.
up, Pachuca?
Ready? A guy from Texas, a guy from Louisiana, and a girl from Arkansas walk into a bar. Just kidding. All right, let's go here. Where are you at, Austin? Austin, I can't find you. Austin Balcom. Ready?
He's really gonna read poetry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Austin,
I also started remember the dick pills with the poem stuff? I did it. I fucking did it. I'm also selling these gummies.
Alejandro, I'm not trying to shit on your dream. Go ahead. She wants it. You're going to read poetry to Kylie. Go.
All right. This one's called Naughty Crush. When I see you, my brain goes boogaloo. In ecstasy, my brain dwells. My heart swells. Confused lust for love. But how do you get to love without any lust? You can't just love willy-nilly without vetting attraction. If you aren't pleasant to look at, who you are needs to blow me away.
What the fuck is going on right now?
Alejandro likes to come on this call. Poetry. I'm not going to dissuade him.
But yeah, I got an important feedback loop for performing it, and I just need to work on my stage presence. And yeah.
Alejandro, go ahead.
That was worth the wait.
That was good.
It was worth the wait, bro.
Alejandro, let me ask you a question. Do you remember what I told you to do? What did I tell you to do? You remember?
Go find someone who's doing and being successful and emulate them. So I did get to meet some people there and network a little bit.
Well, remember, specifically, I told you to go on TikTok and find people who are crushing it on TikTok right now, doing this type of poetry, because they exist. They live in a circle that he and I have no clue about, but they live somewhere. They're in the fucking meatpacking district or some shit.
I went down that rabbit hole and I found some people, but they end up just either doing music with it or something, which is cool. Like I can do that later on. or they'd be really victimizing poems. I like to be more like righteous with them, more masculine.
Yeah, one of the issues is that whole area, that poetry area, is very much victim mentality, extremely progressive and woke. So you are going to have that problem. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have a niche where I'm really conservative, and I have.
Kylie just said she wants to leave me for
like
you
that.
because of the poetry. She said you're incredible. This is
Thanks,
why she can't have female guy friends. She's ready to leave. She's ready to leave me.
Yeah, bro. She's out, bro. Hang up on her, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, baby, happy birthday in 2 days.
Thank you.
All
I
right.
loved your poem, Alejandro. I think they all need to hop off your dick. I like it.
Beautiful. I learned that's the best thing I can advise you to do is just find other like-minded people that are successful in doing that.
Yeah, I may not agree with like kind of their like liberal ideas. So I mean, I have a different niche as far as that, but I'll capitulate.
Neoconservative poetry. Fuck yes.
Exactly. Base poems, dude. Base poems and erotica.
I'm so excited for this thing you've invented.
Pioneer,
Put on a freaking charro fucking suit and look like some badass gangster with frills and pachuco out and shit.
Yeah. I like it, man.
Smoking weed and reciting poetry or something.
I got a crazy idea, but you could write rap lyrics and just become a multimillionaire. That's another idea.
Yeah, I could ghost write. Absolutely,
bro. Just a thought. You could become incredibly wealthy doing that. I'm just a thought.
Yeah. Yes, I was thinking of that too, actually, while I was extrapolating all these ideas. But in the meantime, dick pills, poems, and shit.
You're selling dick pills.
Aphrodisiacs for women too.
We take all kinds, man. I appreciate it.
Mike, can I give a suggestion to Alejandro?
What's up, brother?
Yeah, so with the whole the viral content that Mike was talking about in New York, so there's actually this big time YouTuber. His name is Brian Long, and he goes to like Union Square and all the other liberal areas in New York, and he kind of just trolls everybody. He's hilarious. He's on YouTube. Brian Long. He's like 1 million subscribers. I definitely suggest his content. It's really, really good.
Yeah,
really entertaining.
I did have one idea where I call it like $1 for a poem. I literally just go up to strangers. Hey, I read you a poem. I'll give you $1. Like just organic reaction, whatever.
Yeah,
Or,
actually,
like, malls or something.
What city are you in?
San Antonio. There's a cool place mall called La Cantera. Like it's like an outdoor mall, and like it's gonna be all Christmassy, so I can just be like reciting Christmas poems, whatnot, whatever.
Okay, so whenever you're in like Manhattan or something, right, you'll see like a lot of people like hug for $1 or some stupid shit. You'll see that all the time in Manhattan, and that will go viral on the internet. But it's normal to us New Yorkers. But
You understand when he says go viral, that means you have to film it and then edit it for consumption, mass consumption on TikTok for people with low IQs and incredibly short attention spans.
7 seconds to get attention.
You have 3 seconds to get their fucking
3
attention.
seconds,
You have
even
3
less.
seconds to say the word titty or cocaine or
Titty.
or whatever the fuck. You have 3 seconds to say that word, bro. Okay?
Just straight up Christian porno.
Christian porno, 3 seconds. And that's all you got. Okay. By the way, 68% of Christian men admit to being addicted to pornography. Just thought I'd throw that out.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's congruent.
Yes.
Cool. I'm glad we talked. That's a good feedback loop, and I'm just getting better. And I'm just gonna have to go through the modules and just learn more.
I love it, bro. Stay away from my girl.
Yeah, don't worry, I will.
Josh,
Your
what's
word.
Josh, what's your question? Josh Lewis. Okay. Luis Marquez. Here we go. Lewis, what's your question?
You're muted, buddy.
You're muted. Unmute. There he is.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Did I lose you? So I probably got the most boring question. It seems like your biggest strength has been having a statistical mind and being very logically sound. Well, what are some resources or books that you could recommend to try to build that?
Do you have anything? Because the E-Myth Revisited was going to be one of that I recommended.
What was the question?
About being logically sound in your thinking?
You know, I'm really thinking one of the big holes that I feel like I have is statistics, is like not understanding statistics very well. And it feels as though like that gives you like a completely different outlook on life.
Yeah, it does for me, but that's because I was a quant for a small financial firm. Do you ever
So how?
Oh man, on mindset, I mean, I guess, you know, there's stoicism.
Yeah.
It's probably definitely a good idea to go into what's Marcus Aurelius book?
It's
Meditations.
Meditation by Marcus Aurelius. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think when it comes to mindset and like how you're going to conduct yourself, my goal is always to be graceful. And I think to be graceful, you have to have emotional intelligence. And to have emotional intelligence, a lot of times you have to be able to like catch yourself and stay composed and stay stoic. And you could be raging inside, but you still need to come off as if you're completely under control. So I would say somewhere in the area of stoicism would be a big one for me. And then maybe just The Laws of Human Nature by Robert Greene is a book that I really, really enjoy because I think it's easier to be calm when you can understand, you know, what someone else might be going through. So that's what I would say.
That's awesome.
Makes sense to us?
Not really, because I was asking more about trying to understand.
Okay, so no, here's the reason why it doesn't make. Hold on, here's the reason why it doesn't make sense. So one of the things you're looking for is like a statistical mindset, and what the real question you're asking is how do I not get into an emotional mindset, which is what stoicism is, right? So the thing is that when you'll find some people who do not understand, they're incredible engineers who do not understand physics. They really don't understand physics, but they're incredible engineers. I mean, they have a basic understanding of it. You don't need to be super, super smart. You need to be smart enough to catch the gazelle. You need to be smart enough to get the girl. You need to be smart enough to pay your taxes. That's as smart as you need to be. This hyper intelligence, this Mark Zuckerberg level of intelligence is not necessary in order for you to be incredibly successful. It's helpful. It's certainly helpful. Being able to solve problems is more important than being hyper intelligent. As far as what you're talking about with statistics, while it is helpful, my program is called Men of Action. Now, I take action based on statistics. That's what I try to describe to you guys, the one standard deviation that I use in order to make decisions. That's the question isn't how do I use that? You know, if I were to ask you, what's a higher probability of you dying? Not jumping off the balcony or jumping off the balcony? You understand these things in your head. They're called heuristics. The difference for you, though, is that how do I not keep from doing things because she has big titties? How do I not eat the fucking Krispy Kreme? Do you understand? How do I not get addicted to the porn? Those are the real things that you need rather than having to make decisions based on statistics. What you want to do is not make decisions based on emotion. Does that make sense?
I guess what I'm trying to understand is how do I take a statistic that I'm looking at and then synthesize it into something that can become actionable?
You can't do it with all of them. You can't. Not all of them, but the ones that are relevant to you.
Gotcha.
To whatever decision that you're making. Like, for instance, if I happen to be in this manosphere-ish community, right? So in this community, I know 78% of divorces are initiated by women. That's a helpful statistic that I need to understand in order to describe eventually when I go and I describe, like, for instance, hypergamy. Let's describe hypergamy statistically. Number one, on Tinder, Bumble, and Hinge, 80% of men on there are deemed to be unattractive. You can find that in the book called Dataclism if you're looking for that, right? What's the second thing I know? From the GSS survey, I know that 33% of men thereabouts are having zero sexual partners between the ages of 18 and 30. So zero sexual partners for these guys at the bottom. These top 20%, those are the only ones that women find to be attractive. That is a statistical description of hypergamy that I can then use to describe on a TV show or a podcast or something like that. Does that make sense? But I don't need it necessarily to make decisions other than when I make decisions like that first guy who came on. Remember, he had the scruffy beard and his hair slicked back. If I were to rank him, he's not in that top 20%. And the difference between being in 50th percentile as a man and the bottom percentile is 0. 50th average as a man is shit to women.
Okay.
Do you understand? That's how I would use statistics to make decisions in that category. Does that make sense?
And then to kind of add on what Waller was saying, you need to be able to have the emotional intelligence to be able to actually
the emotional intelligence is more important than you understanding statistics.
Gotcha.
Statistics is just something I teach to my advanced students. It's not really, you don't have to know it. That's my favorite part of watching Fresh and Fit is when they bring up those stats. Dude, my favorite stat of all, the women that have women who have a body count over 20 have like a 20% chance of making it through their first marriage. That's fucking crazy. But you can literally see it patterned out. It's crazy. Then they take the same men and they show as men increase in body count, the likelihood of them staying in their first marriage, it does not change if they have 20 partners or 500. That is a perfect, unassailable example of evolutionary psychology. It's perfect. That's what I love statistics for. I love statistics to use them to either disprove my hypothesis or prove or provide evidence for my hypothesis.
Gotcha. Okay.
Got it?
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's it.
All right. Appreciate it.
Awesome, man.
All right, man.
Luke Chase, what's up?
What's up, Mike? What's up, Justin? Justin, this is a question for you. When you're hiring someone and choosing if you're going to promote them, how do you take into account what their bonus structure looks like? That might be
With
like a
what?
targeted question. Their bonus structure, like how you reward them for what they do.
Well, time out, bro. What is the context of your question? Bonus structure?
He's talking
When
about
you're hiring somebody,
hiring someone, bro. I thought you would. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, my bad. When you're hiring someone, how do you take into account how you're going to reward them financially as they progress along their path within your organization? And how do you do that?
Yeah, so about 5 years ago, I built a program that was the apprenticeship. It's only I built Louisiana's metal building apprenticeship program, and I had to build a pay scale with it. And that pay scale is built off skill sets, things they can do, things that they can not only do, but I like them to be able to teach it because I feel like that's when they really have it. So that's base pay, experience, the position in the company. That's all tied to base pay. The way we personally do it is different for each position. So if when I was doing more bid work, I would say, okay, the company needs to make 35%. Everything over 35%, I'm going to give you 33% of. So if a guy, let's say I do $1 million project and the guy is supposed to make 350,000, but he makes an extra 100,000 on the project, I'm giving him 33 grand on top of his salary. Now, project that big takes about a year and a half. So, I mean, but that's really damn good money, to make extra bonus in a year. The way I do it with my salespeople now is I give them bonuses based off of profit per million. So I know, for example, I'll be writing my main sales lady a check for probably 35 grand this year, the way it's looking. So, and then each position in the office that supports her position will also get a bonus based off of what I pay them per million in profit. So it kind of depends on what position it is. There's definitely a hierarchy. The office makes a lot of bonuses, and then the mid-level manager, the guy running the actual job site, makes a bonus as well. Only you will be able to answer that question. But what I advise you do is, if you're actually doing this, if you have any other guys that do exactly what you do, that bonus, I would ask them that question, but I would make it performance-based. I'd make it past the margin that the company needs, and then break bread with them on that excess money. And understand this about the guys that are working in the field, they have a short-term time span. They want that money fast. They're going to spend that money on beer. Whereas your people that are working for you in the office on salary, they can wait the entire year. They can wait until you fully get paid. They understand, we pay these bonuses on a cash basis, not accrual. You know what I'm saying? When the money comes in, when you make them pay us is when I'm paying you. The guys in the field, the guys on the lower levels in your organizational board, they're going to need their money quicker. They don't get it. And so you're never going to change that about them. So you want to put a short carrot in front of them and a long-term carrot in front of your management team. It's good for retention as well.
That's awesome. Great. Thank you. That was awesome.
Luke, as far as us, we have certain things, like we actually pay closers more if they get money cash up front. Tristan, are you still on here? Tristan can probably talk about some of the things. I'm not going to give out the exact numbers, but there is like certain common, like we hit certain goals. We hit a goal, which is why we took our whole sales team to Jamaica last year. We do things like that. That make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. I was just curious based on your experience, etc. How you guys reward people.
In a perfect world, everyone will work on commission, and I would just pay higher rates than anyone else in the industry. And because I love paying good employees. I love retaining them. You understand? I would give up percentages of my profit if that allowed me to retain quality salespeople.
Yeah, I can see that.
That's what's so important to me is retaining quality salespeople or quality anybody. Like, dude, Char Modell is like 1 in a million for me to have found her, but I knew her for 10 years before she started doing my social media work. That's why we love giving her work. We like Grant and I and Miguel, we discuss ways to pay Char more because we love working with her so much. That is the mentality to have. No one wants to leave this. You guys notice how nobody leaves? People come into MOA and they just stay forever. Even the alumni. We're going to start a program where the alumni can come back at a different rate, but still come on these calls because we do 6-month programs. That's essentially how we do it. We're gonna start something. That's what these calls are for. And I want people to just stay in forever. I want you guys to continue to be my clients for 10 years from now, right? All right, cool. Let's keep going with this. Let's see here. Salsi, is that how you say your name? Salsi?
How you doing, gentlemen? Sorry, my name is Hector. That was just the username that the app provided. But how you guys doing? First and foremost, I just want to say I am a huge fan of both of you. Been watching your podcast since the first episode. Same with Justin. Every podcast that you've been on, I've watched. You guys are extremely motivating. However, I had a question for Justin, more of like big brother advice. So I'm turning 29 this year. I don't know if a lot of guys can relate, but I feel the stress of turning 30, and I haven't accomplished a lot of the things that I would have wanted to accomplish. I have a couple rental properties and investment properties in Ohio. I moved from San Diego to invest out there in Ohio. I do corporate wellness. So I'm a travel nurse, but I work in the corporate setting, and I travel a lot for work, but I'm at the point now where I've capped as much as I could make at my job. And I feel like I think real estate for me is too slow of a process to get to the yearly cash flow that I want to make, or the yearly income that I want to make. It's going to take too long going the process that I've been going. So I've been debating on starting my own medical company, basically what I'm doing right now for work, but just doing it on my own accord so I can basically get the full benefit of what I'm currently doing. However, it would require me to leave the job that I'm at right now. I'm making, the about 150,000 plus whatever I get from real estate. I'm at the point right now where I don't know if I should jump in fully to start my own business or my own company, or just wait. It's a difficult crossroad that I'm at right now, and I was just wondering what Jay Waller would suggest or advise.
Sure, man, absolutely. Why do you need to quit your job to start the company?
Because I travel a lot. So I have the way it works is that we'll have a client or I'll have a site that I go to for a couple weeks. Like currently right now I'm in Louisville. Next month I might be in Florida. The month after that I might be in Boston. So I can't in order to, I would want to start a medical company, so I would have to get a medical director in the particular state that I want to work in, and that would be back home in San Diego. But if I want to focus on that, I don't have time to be traveling because I have to have these meetings with medical directors, trying to get one on board, or manufacturers, and try and network and find a office. And everything right now, I have nobody on my team. It would be just me doing it by myself. So the dilemma is leaving a decent paying job to try and start something that I have the potential of making 7 figures in.
Yeah. And you feel like real estate's too slow, yeah?
Yeah, so I'm doing residential. I do low income housing. So I do, Section 8, government assistance,
yep.
Stuff like that. And I do it in the Midwest or in the South. And you basically can purchase without doing creative financing. If you just do it the standard way, every about $15,000-$20,000, you can purchase a house. And depending on how much you're making, you can purchase a house every 3 to 6 months. And realistically, with a good deal, it would be about $500 or $600 a month in cash flow.
Do you have good deal flow?
Say that again?
Do you have good deal flow for those deals?
Not as much as I would like, because it is the Midwest out here.
Then this is what I do. You're making $150, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. I don't advise you quit your job.
Okay.
Because when I tell people to quit their job is normally when they can create the side business and they have enough work that they know they're going to make twice as much money. And they need to quit their job to go make sure the profitability is there after they win the work or they get the client base, right?
Correct.
But you can't do that. But what you do have, in my opinion, at 29 and $150,000, and I know they're probably paying for your hotel room, right?
Yeah.
What
Everything
you
is
have
paid
is a
for you.
substantial amount of disposable income to hire a person to find you those deals. You understand what I'm saying?
With real estate, you're referring
Yeah.
to.
Yeah,
Okay.
bro. Because I'm gonna tell you, man, starting a business and having to put all those vendors together and the customers, and then you're gonna have to have employees and all these other things, man. Look, making that kind of money, getting your housing paid for, are you getting per diem?
Yes.
Bro, and you're making $150?
Yeah.
Then I'd take 25 grand or a small amount of that money to either recruit guys to find you deals and underwrite for you on retainer. You could put a whole team together for very little money, a couple grand a month, maybe if that, make a $25,000 budget and see if you can hire somebody. I would find a girl or take a course to help you find those types of deals that you want to buy, and then give that course to somebody and hire them to do it, and then bonus them for finding you deals.
Yeah, I thought about doing that, but I think that the point that I want to reach as far as the example that I was taking was how you did it. You started working in construction, you learned your skill, and then you took that skill and you created your own company. And then once your company started making significant money, that's when you started throwing that money into commercial real estate, where the big money's at. So that's the point that that's the route I wanted to take. I don't really feel like
you got to be free first. And
okay.
And so my thing is that I graduated college in 2009 and there were no jobs. So I had to go, I had to start my business early. I was 24. I got beat the fuck up for the first 5 years. And then year 6, I started making, 100 grand, 200 grand a year, 700, 200 grand. I made 300. But then I lost a bunch of money. And then I finally pivoted about 3 or 4 years ago. And that's when I started making M's. But bro, making 150 grand a year, if you're going to get $500 a month cash flow, I would say if you kept doing that, man, it wouldn't be that long until you could buy a little trailer. Dude, I bought a trailer park the other day for $285,000, bro. It's 21 units. You know how
That's
I found
a dream.
it? Somebody found it and brought it to me. And I bought it. So, bro, like, it's possible. You have a damn good job. I would put that money towards advertising to find good deals. Buy 4, buy 5, bro. You're only gonna have to put 20% down. You make damn good money. And that's before you start refinancing some of these properties and start pulling money out to buy properties with.
Exactly. So you wouldn't risk starting a business. You would focus more on real estate.
If I were in your position, yeah, I would, bro. I'm not telling you what I always tell people that want to go start their own business and they have a job is to make sure you have enough work. Now, if you can somehow build a clientele from while you're on the road and you're going to have the work, but for you to quit your job with no safety net in hopes, bro, have you ever set up an LLC? Do you understand how payroll works? Do you understand FICA, Medicaid, SUTA? There's so many things there that are hard that you're going to learn. Accounting, all billing. Do you know how to run QuickBooks?
I mean, I no.
What I'm telling you is to start that business, you're going to have to hire a bunch of different things, right? In this real estate, if you can find a deal, buy a deal, you might be free in a few years, and that's going to give you all the time in the world to go raise money, because you're going to be free, bro. I mean, by the time you're making 100 grand a year in real estate, I would quit. I might quit at 75 grand, take the pay cut, because then you can put your full energy into it. You know,
Okay.
I'm not telling you not to go start a business. I wouldn't discourage you from it. I'm just telling you, if I were you making
Yeah.
that kind of money at your age, which is young, you're not doing poorly, bro. You're doing, bro.
Yeah.
Bro, 150 grand a year, fuck off, bro. That's good money at 29.
All right, let's see if we can make it through.
You know,
Let me take
so,
Yeah.
and how many properties do you own?
7.
Bro, 7? How long have you owned them?
I just purchased the last one 6 months ago, probably about a year and a half, almost 2 years.
On each of them?
No.
How long have you owned them all on average?
So I bought the first 3 2 years ago, almost
Okay,
2 years ago, and then I bought 3 more within the last year.
Are you putting HELOCs on them?
Let me get by you.
No, not
Okay.
yet.
So you can find out how much equity you have in those homes, man.
Yeah.
That could be your down payment right there for a good deal. You know, I would find somebody to find me deals, bro, if I were you personally.
Yeah.
Because then you're hiring one person, not a bunch of people. You're counting on one person and maybe a lender, you know.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm not pissing on your dream, man. I just think that, you know, starting a business cold when you don't have any actual business like set up yet. I quit when I'll tell you, I'll give you an example. I had a job go wrong once in New Orleans, and it cost me 30 grand, and it kind of put me out. So I had to go work for a company for a year while I built my backlog of work up. I had like $500,000 in contracts before I quit my job, because I had to make sure that I had the landing pad of enough work there before I quit my income. And then I quit the job so I could go make sure that the profitability that I had estimated actually happened by being on the job sites. For you, if you could just get a few clients, bro, before you quit, or if you could kind of start that, dude, when you're driving down the road, like go ahead and set those vendors up. You know what I'm saying? Like if you can get all that set up and you have the revenue and you know the revenue's coming in without a doubt, like it's like they're ready to order from you, then I would tell you to quit. But you need to get those contracts in hand before you quit a 6-figure job, man. I mean, at 150, dude, you're in a high percentile of income and you've already got a good track record with real estate. You already look good to banks. You close. People know you close. They know you're not full of shit. And you cash flow $500 a month. You could put that whole package together and sell the whole thing and roll it into a bigger deal if you wanted to. I'd get some more properties under it, but you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, create a nice little portfolio, then roll that into a bigger commercial deal.
Yeah, man, and you're not failing, bro. You're killing it, bro. You're 29 years old, man. Let me tell you something about this world, bro. Guys like you think they're failing because they go on the internet and they see fucking young guys, little dickheads selling FBA or Amazon or whatever from some fucking beach, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or they see some crypto kid that hit a fucking pump on cum rocket or some dumbass coin. I mean, you're buying real assets in the real world, bro. You're doing a hell of a good job, man. 7 houses at 20 mile, making $150 traveling the country. Fuck off, man. You're killing it.
Okay.
No?
I mean, the
now, you know, I'm telling you the truth. You need to lose some fucking weight.
Yeah, I know. Eating on the road, man. I don't have much time to cook, so it's all fast food. That's not an excuse, but
dude, I live on the road, hanging steel. Go get a rotisserie chicken, dude. Watch real estate videos.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. You're killing it, bro.
I appreciate your advice, man. Thank you.
You're gonna be fine, bro. You're killing it.
I appreciate it, man.
Love it. Hey guys, appreciate it. Sorry about that. I had a little medical emergency for a couple of minutes there. That sounded really good though. Daxis, let's go to Raj, or actually Michael. What's your question?
Yeah, thank you, Mike. Mine's pretty short. So basically, follow up on your journey, Justin. While you're starting up with your business, you talked about that. You know, there is a journey that as you as entrepreneur, you're improving yourself. You're doing the things that making your future self better. But on that journey, you're very lonely. And so, how do you find people that on basically the same level or slightly above you that you're able to learn from? In the meantime, how do you cope with this loneliness on the way?
Yeah, man. I mean, you have to understand that being an entrepreneur is a lonely existence sometimes. Everybody wants something from you, whether it's your employees or your customers or vendors or whatever. And a lot of times I kind of would revert back to kind of taking pride, man, in the struggle. You know, I felt like I was doing something that other people weren't willing to do, and that made me proud of it. And that made me feel like I was kind of like in my own movie, if you will. I kept the future in mind a lot. I paid a lot of attention to the man I wanted to become, not my current situation. That kept me moving forward. I spent a lot of time with people on the internet, not in real life, but like when people around me weren't on the same path I was on, I would tune into like Cardone or some YouTuber that had something inspirational to say, somebody that would talk me out of quitting, somebody that would teach me something new. As I ran and as the business grew, I'd run into more problems. And as I'd run into a bigger problem, I'd need a new competency. So I'd go seek that competency out. That made me feel like I was progressing as an entrepreneur and a business person. And I felt like as long as I felt like I was growing and getting better and getting closer, then being lonely was okay because it was going to be worth it in the end. And it absolutely was. I feel like a lot of the reason that guys let me on their show so quickly without being on the internet so long is because they respect the fact that I built a real business in the real world. And for that, I'm overly grateful. And I think I made the right decision for me in my life. It was lonely, but a lot of that loneliness actually came from not wanting to go the traditional path with marriage, living in the South, just as much as it was the entrepreneurial thing. I think, in fact, I think it was probably a little bit more because not only was I building a business and I was alone all day in my work life, I didn't have much of a social life in my 20s because number one, I was so focused on what I was doing. And I wasn't getting married and I wasn't doing gender reveal parties and I wasn't, doing those normal things. So I felt left out of the loop of maybe the guys I went to school with. Not that they chose the wrong path, it just wasn't for me. So it was that on top of the entrepreneurship and feeling like I had nowhere to land. But I'll tell you, those moments in my life are what made me, and I wouldn't trade them. And I'm so very, very grateful for every one of them, especially the hard ones, because that's what's going to give you substance later. And that's what's going to give you the best stories. And that's what's going to make other men respect you. So if you're going through any kind of loneliness in that regard, be grateful, man. You're in the middle of the story that you're going to be able to tell. So I think you're on the right track, bro. If that's what you're feeling.
Gotcha. Thank you. That's very, very well said.
Thanks, man.
Love it, man. As far as, by the way, as far as the thing he says about loneliness, I don't feel lonely at all. You guys want the same thing I do as far as success. And so because of that, that's the reason why I love it so much. That's the reason why I love talking to you guys so much. I don't ever feel lonely because I'm on a trajectory upward. By the way, my nose started bleeding. That's why I had to go over there real quick. I don't know why. But yeah, it's one of these situations where I never felt like you guys, I feel very close to you, and the other people that I've been able to gain success with, I feel very close to them. All right, let's keep going here. Next one is Raj. What's your question, Raj?
What's up? Hey Justin, what's your favorite supercar to drive?
Bro, I've never driven a supercar actually.
You're serious?
Dead serious. Like, and I'll tell you, I know you would think I have, but I haven't. Because every time me and Andrew and Tristan, we do those supercar rallies, they're like, do you want to drive? And I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm just not a car guy. Like, so like when I bought my G-Wagon, the G-Wagon has pedals and shit on it, right? Don't know how to use them. I bought that car for the flex, bro. I might buy a Lamborghini next year and learn how to drive it, but I might not. I might just cruise around.
Which large industrial machine do you like using the most?
10-ton forklift with outriggers.
See, that's a better question.
Yeah.
And I bet you that costs more than a Lamborghini.
Oh yeah, absolutely, bro. Or close. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's up there. But yeah, man, I enjoy them. I'm not saying I'll never buy one, but honestly, before hanging out with those guys, supercars weren't really on my agenda. You don't see a supercar in Baton Rouge, bro. You don't see one. In fact, when I'm about to bring my G-Wagon back to Louisiana, because here it might as well be a fucking Corolla. At home, people look at me like I'm a fucking spaceship, bro. There's no G-Wagons in Louisiana. Not a lot. Like I might see one G-Wagon in a week in Baton Rouge. Maybe. But dude, when I was in Baton Rouge, I bought that G-Wagon in Baton Rouge and people pulling up to me at red lights and be like, oh my God, like rolling the windows down and shit. But so there's definitely no Lamborghinis, no McLarens or anything like that. Not in Louisiana, man. Our roads are too fucked up. So that's all new to me. If I bought one, I'd buy it here in Miami, and that might happen next year, just depending on me bringing my G-Wagon back home.
Got it. Got it. Also, Mike, just a question for you. So I know in MOA rule number 5 is we don't feel FOMO, and you know my situation very well. You know,
Yeah.
I do pretty good for myself. But last night I was on Instagram and I saw Dan Bilzerian's story, and I was like, where the fuck did my life go wrong, right? And like sometimes I feel I'm always comparing myself to like the highest level people. Like I'll compare myself to you or Justin or whoever, right? And it kind of makes me feel that FOMO, even though we say we shouldn't. I can't help but feel that. So, what do you advise on that?
Let it motivate you. I saw that and I didn't really feel FOMO. I was like, man, I missed out. My buddy was at Omnia, Sunday night for whatever. I knew a bunch of those girls that he was with. That's the only way I would look at it more like I want to be motivated to be in that circle. And so I'm going to have, because like what he said, right? He's not into supercars. He's still at that level, but he doesn't need a supercar. Some people are into different things. I love guns, not as much as Dan Bilzerian loves guns. Like we're just all kind of into different things. So like at some point when you get to that point, you're going to have your own signature, right? And I would just look forward to getting to that point and just let it motivate you. Because here's the thing, Raj, I'm going to tell you, well, I love being where I'm at. If I can go back to the journey in the beginning, like just say like 2002 to right now, that journey was super fun. And I don't regret going through it at all. And I enjoy going back and like looking back at some of the struggles that I went through. And now you get to go and do that for the first time. I can never go back and reread Catch-22 for the first time or All Quiet on the Western Front. I can never go back and read Moby Dick for the first time. Like you're getting to go through this for the first time, which is awesome. So I would just actually have more gratitude for the fact that you get to do this for the first time than sitting there and just like being impatient on where it is you're going to get. Now, granted, I'm probably not going to ever be quite like Dan, but or almost none of us are. But that doesn't mean that our life isn't fulfilling. Read the end of his book when he talks about being on that boat with 60 girls and he didn't feel fulfilled. Now, I wouldn't want to go that far. Or 30 girls, a $60 million boat. I wouldn't want to go that far. I would instead want to find like, what is the equilibrium for me to be happy? And for me, it wasn't me being on my birthday with, 50 girls. It was being on my birthday with 50 girls that actually really cared about me as a human and actually like wanted me in their life. That's what I really enjoyed.
One thing I'd say, I think I get misunderstood sometimes. I never felt lonely during the times I was climbing. I was just simply alone. And I think there's a big difference between being lonely and just being alone. And I have found that I've always been okay with being alone, especially when I knew I was holding out for something better.
For sure. For sure. Awesome. Thank you, gentlemen.
Love it, bro. Before we go, and we got Daxus coming on one more time, I really want you guys to look at that link right there. For those of you first time on this call, or for those of you not in MOA, please click that link and make sure you check out all the testimonials. Call me out on my shit. Write me on Instagram, whatever. Guys, I promise I don't have a cocaine problem. Something just happened with my nose. I was in dry ass Las Vegas yesterday, and now I'm here in Miami. We're gonna keep going. Ibimo, good to see you, brother. We're gonna go last question here. It's Daxus. Daxus, what's your question?
Unmute. Perfect. Oh, I got a napkin for that nose for you right there.
Right, I need one.
Okay, awesome. So to wrap it up, so my previous question during the call, basically, I was building an offer for brands using properties that I had access to basically help them and say, hey, maybe if you try to do a campaign, you can use this as a setup or whatever. So that leads into my question, basically, with girls or like women, when I'm out at the club, when I'm going out, or if I'm DMing people or girls on Instagram, how do I contact them in a non-creepy, appropriate way and say, hey, listen, this is kind of what I'm getting into. This is what I'm trying to do. Like, how do I approach people at the club, women, and DM on Instagram? Like, what do I do to make it, to kind of come up to them, make it smooth, make it clean, and like put them in my value proposition so I don't come across as creepy? You always said that you're never creepy when providing value, but there's still those few seconds where you have to like, relax and not, crazy or anything like that.
Guys who are in MOA, unmute yourselves. What are some of the things that you could do in the club that we've talked about before? Value arbitrage, be like descriptive. What are some of the things you could do? Anybody?
Networker or
Connector,
connector.
suggester, and content creator.
Connector, suggester, content creator. What else? What else can you do, guys? Hi there. Wait, why is it not coming back on me? Here we go. Remove spotlight. What else? What else can you do?
Snapchat videos.
What's up?
Wait, what?
Snapchat
Snapchat
videos.
video?
There you go.
Okay.
Keep going. What else? Anybody else?
All right, show up with 10 girls. That's a
Sure, for sure. But what is the other thing? We need 6 of what? What's step number
Events and female friends.
No, step number 3. That's step number 4.
Events. Just bring girls too. 6 events.
But what are you doing while you're at the club?
Networking.
No, come on, man.
Loading the
Fucking
gun.
Good.
Loading the magazine with more events.
Okay, cool. That's exactly right. I'm inviting girls to events. I'm the connector, the suggester, the content creator, and I'm sitting here doing the opens with Snapchat like we talked about before. If you need a crutch in the nightclub, those things are way too easy. That's what I would do. Tag everyone and everything, and BTS of everyone, huh?
Okay, the Snapchat videos, you mean just want to open a filter?
Yeah.
Take photos for them?
Dude, don't believe me. Just sit here with your Snapchat filter on, do like this, and watch the light come on and watch girls just like crawl behind you for no fucking reason. They'll just start walking behind you and smiling into your camera. And then at the end be like, oh, cool, let me tag you in this. That's it.
Okay. Boom. Easy. I can take it from there.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just wanted to say
the long answer is work on charisma, work on vocal projection, work on all these other things. The short answer is I just gave you the crutches. Those are easy.
And I wanted to say about the guy who he said he was 30 and he didn't accomplish it. I'm actually very impressed. I think he's a baller. I think he's killing it. You know, I don't. As for the
30, that's great.
You know, as for the person who said their FOMO, their fear of missing out, I get it. Like no one's gonna be Dan Bilzerian, but I think that person should understand that you can kind of create your own Dan Bilzerian brand or style, lifestyle, where people are kind of wishing that they were where you're at. That we don't all have to have 50 women on a boat to generate that FOMO. Like a lot of people would just be happy hanging out with a few people.
Yeah, I don't care about generating the FOMO. I care about being happy. You guys understand the cars, not to say that Andrew doesn't love the Bugatti, he does, but it's also a marketing tool. Like we do this shit as a marketing. I'm very open with you guys. I sell you what you want and I teach you what you need. What do you guys want? You want to see me with a bunch of girls. That causes my revenue goes up whenever I do that shit. There's a direct line correlation when I do a bikini competition and people jumping into MOA. I'm fully aware of that. But then I teach you what you need. I teach you guys, unmute yourself. If you guys want to meet women, the most important pillar in MOA is which one? Unmute yourself.
Leadership.
Yeah, the most important
breaking rapport
is leadership. You know what the pillar that most people skip when they join MOA? Leadership.
Leadership.
Yeah. It's so crazy to me. It's like they want to be this partial man. No, you have to fix all of it, and then this other thing will work. I sell you what you want, and then I teach you what you need. What do these guys have been doing? Patek watches and Lamborghinis, bro. It works. Maybe one day I'll do it. But right now, one of the reasons why my program works so well is because I teach you how to do this without money, right? I also teach you it's important to make money. But you guys notice my program is not high status with money. It's also high status without money. You also see like there was a lot of guys who were struggling with money who were able to build this incredible social life. Now, that's not necessarily what you want to do, but the point is, for me, I wear an Apple Watch. I can afford something way better than Apple Watch, but I can't have, what I can do is, because I'm always, and so is he, always going up against these fucking black pill doomers, looks money status guys. I have to constantly show you this is possible without money. I have to show you Anthony DeRico, this is possible when you're 5'3". I have to show you this is possible if you're Indian, if you're Asian. This is possible if you're not that good looking. This is possible, but looks, money, status. Status, that one is not an excuse because you can change status through pre-selection, which is the main thing that I teach. But I was going to say one thing that I'm elite at teaching better than anyone in the world. It is the function of pre-selection. Bilzerian is better at showing pre-selection than I am, but he doesn't. He's not a teacher. I'm the best in the world at teaching how to create pre-selection. Small, minute turn of the hips in towards you, where she puts her hand on your shoulder to show just a little bit of compliance. That's how we show pre-selection. Does it make sense? Again, I told you guys before, required reading, very important people by Professor Ashley Mears. She talks often about the girls being like, yeah, I was hanging out with this promoter and I knew he was full of shit, but I just kept seeing him with all these beautiful women. And I was always like, why Like, that's incredible. And then when he chose me, I was like, I felt so flattered that this guy who was surrounded by women all the time would choose me. Pre-selection. It's a fucking sociology professor literally describing for you what I've been telling you. What I'm saying is an unassailable fact. That's why I teach that, right? But pre-selection also works with jobs, right? Why am I going on Fresh and Fit this week? I'm going on Fresh and Fit because Andrew Tate asked them to put me on, because Justin Waller asked them to put me on, and because Rollo Tomasi asked me to put him on. It's just a different type of pre-selection. You guys understand? That's why networking is an evolutionary adaptation. It is not just some willy-nilly fucking weird thing that culture designed in the last 1,000 years. Networking is an evolutionary adaptation. He sits there and like I sit there and ruffle up the bushes so the fucking moose run that way, and then he comes out of the fucking woods and stabs the motherfuckers. That's what happens. We work together as a team. We hunt together as a team. That's the way it works. That's why we love football. That's why we love basketball. That's why we love fucking soccer, is because these are team sports. We're watching our tribe, whatever our tribe, the United States, whatever country you cheer for, we're watching our tribe work as a team against other tribes. Make sense?
Yeah, I saw Rolo's thing that like gained Trump's look money status to Andrew Tate and that lady on Grilled. I binge watched that whole thing, and they speak to exactly what you're talking about. You know, just being the man. It's not about your height. It's not about your looks. It's not about. I mean, it kind of is, but it isn't. It's just,
do you understand why she was so frustrated?
No, why was she frustrated? No.
She was frustrated because he was right. Do you know why people get so frustrated with Rollo, and why people not so much me, him, and Tristan, because we're not quite as confrontational, but like the reason people get frustrated with Myron, and the reason why people get frustrated with Rollo, and the way people get frustrated with Andrew, is because they tell you to your face you're fucking delusional, and then you're like, no, I'm not, but oh wait, I am. And then they pull out the delusional calculator, and they're like, turns out you are delusional. And that's what's so frustrating. Their delivery is just kind of like, it's kind of nasty. Right? You got to pay me.
Yeah.
You got to pay me to be that mean. That's what MOA is, right?
I've always said that. You got to pay me to be that honest with you.
You got to pay me to be that honest with you. You know, they're not these women are not my responsibility. So that's what.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sarton.
Myron is better at fucking letting women know when they're delusional. He's better at that than I am at anything in my life. He is phenomenal at that. Myron, like, he is so bulletproof when it comes to the arguments that women put out there, because what did he say the other day? 1,400 women they've had on that show. There's nothing you could throw at him he can't throw right back at you. He reminds me of Tom Brady. I've seen Engage 8. I've seen Cover 2. I've seen Cover 3. I've seen Cover 4. I've seen Cover 2 Buck. I've seen Man Cover 1, Man Cover 2, and I've seen the dog. Like, he's seen it all. You see what I'm saying? But that's why they're angry, because he's right. Yeah, Myron's got nothing to lose. Yeah. Nice. Okay, awesome. All right, guys, let's last three questions. Or Ryan, real quick, and then we got to go. Ryan, what's your question?
Yeah, first of all, thank you. I know it's late. I appreciate you guys. I actually just found out.
Ryan, you're not an MOA, are you?
No, I'm not.
Hey, guys, unmute yourselves. How do we know that Ryan's not an MOA?
His videos. Because we can't see him. Yeah.
Bro, we have this we have a module in MOA called Watch Yourself on Camera. And one of the things that we are really, really important to us is that your lighting is correct, because you're going to be using this whole persona on camera for for FaceTime with girls, for job interviews, for Zoom calls. So this thing has to be set up. We also, you guys were talking about the look that we have, right? When we're on camera, how it looks like we're practiced. That's because we see ourselves on camera. So you need to take lighting seriously when you put your face on camera. I'm not criticizing you. You're not an MOA, so you don't know this. But if you are in MOA, this is what I would tell you.
Also, I mean, I wasn't expecting to be here today. I wasn't even going to with any questions, but some of the stuff that was said kind of inspired me. So like I said, I just found out about you and MOA, and I'm slightly interested. Mostly, I mean, what I want out of my life, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people, same thing, is a lot of wealth. I want to be super rich, right? So I guess my question, and this also coming off the heels of what I heard, like I said, that 29-year-old, he came in and said he wasn't where he wanted to be, and then he said he's making 150,000. I'm like, wow, like I've never made six figures in my life. I'm 38 years old. Another thing that I'm coming off the heels of is the poet who said a poem, and you said something about why don't you just write rap songs and be incredibly wealthy? Well, I've actually been doing that. I've been rapping and writing rap songs for like 20 years, and it's not for me at least, it hasn't been something easy to tap into or make a lot of money. I put a
sure.
than I have. So I guess I'm curious, you know, how MOA and yourself can help me to achieve the goals of becoming super rich, and, you know, how to go about that. And yeah, I want to know how you think I could get incredibly wealthy from writing rap songs.
Again, what I was saying is he had a skill set for writing poetry, and I wanted him to transmute that into him writing some hip hop lyrics. That's not the point. As far as you getting incredibly wealthy, it's always going to be the same answer. You need to become valuable to other people, and you need to solve a problem. Do you understand?
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you have to have passion for it. It helps if you have passion for it, but you don't necessarily have to. Like, so go back to what I was saying before. The guy who owns Waste Management, we used to be Wayne Huizinga. He doesn't wake up every morning. He's like, man, you know what I enjoy? Cleaning up shit. He doesn't enjoy that. He doesn't. So if it's your passion to make hip hop records, that's incredible. The thing is, you have to know that the probability, remember we talked about statistics, the probability of you making money is low.
Yeah.
So again, you want to become fantastically wealthy. Anybody who tells you there's a get rich quick program is lying to you. There's only, like Alex Hormozy says, there's only work harder. There's only get up earlier. There's only work. There's only do more work. There's no shortcuts. Okay. That's the first thing. The second thing is, what is the problem you're solving? Can you explain the problem you're solving to me? And can you do it in 2 sentences? That's it. If you want to become fantastically wealthy, I can do this. In fact, point to a fantastically wealthy person and I'll do that exercise for you. I'll point out the problem they solved and I'll show you how you can explain the problem they solved in 2 sentences. So are you doing that?
I'm not sure I follow.
It doesn't have to be hip hop lyrics. Do you understand?
Well, let me give you like an incredibly wealthy person. So let's say like Drake, for example, or Jay-Z. What's the example you're using there? Like
the
relate that.
He's solving because he's entertaining people. That's the most obvious one.
Right.
You know, people are like in their car wanting music to listen to. People are like in the gym wanting music to listen to. His music is superior to others because they'd rather listen to it. It's catchier. It's trendier. He's solved the problem. And so he's paid commensurate to the complexity of the problem he solved. Like Elon Musk said, you will be paid in linear proportion to the complexity of the problem you solve. What Drake does is complex. You know how I know it's complex? Because you're not doing it. That's how I know it's complex. That's
well, there's thousands of artists and people making stuff on a similar level. I mean, do you think, I've heard a lot of rumors about the music industry. I don't know if you believe in anything as far as, you know, sell your soul, sacrifice, shit like that.
Yeah, if you're trying to turn this conversation, do I have to sacrifice a fucking goat in order to get a platinum record? This is the wrong person to have this conversation with. I believe you just work hard. I don't believe there's lizard people that live under Antarctica. I don't believe the fucking Nazis had a space program. I don't think we faked the moon landing. Like
right. But I'm saying what would you say to help me to differentiate myself to the thousands of other artists that all make a fair level of music? Like there are guys that make music.
Here's the trick. Don't be like those thousands of other artists. What would you tell me if you were like, hey, I want to start a podcast and I like for my podcast to catch on? He and I understand we have to use social media to broadcast into our podcast. And we don't sit there and talk about our feelings on our podcast. We invite other people to come on our show. Those people have their own followings and then we merge. So we're doing collaborations. Does that make sense? You see how I'm using logic and reason in order to grow my podcast? It's the same thing with this. Like, okay, what did 50 Cent do before his first album came out? Do you know?
He got shot.
No, but yeah, it's funny. Yeah, he did get shot, but there's something else he did. He had an occupation.
Sold drugs.
Yeah, after that was not helping him with it. By the way, he does talk about that in his book. What else did he do?
I'm not sure.
Okay, so have you read Hustle Harder by 50 Cent?
No.
Well, then why are you asking this question?
I'm curious.
Like you're not actually doing the work to solve the problem. The correct answer, he was an intern for A&R at the record company, at the record label. That's why he's famous. It's not because of his first record.
Well, I mean, I'm coming into this completely without knowledge, ignorant as can be. That's why I'm trying to soak all this up and hear what your advice would be and what way.
So this is not a meritocracy. Please understand.
Ryan, I can give you some advice. As a musician, I could give you some advice.
Go ahead, Rollo.
All right, here. You have to be a fucking alien. That's what you have to do. You have to be more outraged. People don't want to go and see somebody on stage who's just the regular dude that's next door. You got to put on a fucking performance. You got to become a performer. You got to become somebody who is noteworthy, someone who can, what is it, Little Nas? You got to go worship Satan. I'm serious. You got to go put blood in your Nike sneakers or some shit like that. You have to be an alien. You have to be in some way stand out from the rest of the crowd, because right now, I worked in casino marketing for a very long time. When you go onto the casino floor of any major casino in Vegas or Reno or wherever else, everything is it's sensory overload. Everything is fighting for your attention, no matter what it is. It could be like Wheel of Fortune or Buffalo or whatever it is. But there's no room for subtlety. There's no room for nuance on a casino floor. So when you step onto that casino floor, the only way to stand out is if the thing is red, it is on fire, or it has tits, and preferably it's red flaming tits. That's what you have to be. Red flaming tits online right now. You've got to find new ways to make your music.
Red flaming tits in the chat, right? Red flaming tits in the chat. Yes.
You have to be in some way notable. People don't go to a show because they want to see some just regular, some cat in a freaking flannel or some shit like that staring at the floor. And I'm not saying that's you. I'm just saying that that's right now, especially in the internet age right now, where everybody is fighting for the same attention space. The same attention is capital, and everyone is fighting for that same capital. So you've got to have a performance. You've got to be good at what you're doing musically, right? But there's so much more that goes along with that besides just being a good musician. I'll tell you, as a musician myself, there's so much more to being a professional musician than just writing songs, writing good shit, and getting it out there. You also have to deal with people. You also have to deal with a band. In my case, a band. You have to deal with management. You have to also understand how recording works. You have to understand how performance works. You have to understand your equipment. You have to understand. It's one thing to be a rapper. Every girl on Fresh and Fit right now can spit bars. I'll guarantee you. Me and Michael go on Fresh and Fit. We'll do the after-hour show just for you. And I'm going to say, ladies, which one of you is a rapper? And damn near every single one of them will raise their hand. So trust me, it's not just about that. It's about dedicating yourself to that space and finding ways and finding niches and finding something novel. Right now, where the big money is in music, it's not on Spotify. Trust me. Go look at any article about Spotify or iTunes or Apple. You make pennies, fractions of a penny on every replay that you put out there. Trust me, I know. My band has 3 EPs out right now. We have 12 songs on Spotify. Trust me, we are not in it for the money. We're in it because we enjoy it and we love what we're doing. But the fact of the matter is we have to be a jack of all trades when you get into music. And as such, if you're very good at that, what will happen is you will find niches within the music industry that you can excel at. And hopefully you're in the right place at the right fucking time. Right now, the only way to really make money is if you're writing music for like soundtracks for movies, or if you're doing bumper music, or you're doing like music for commercials, like anything that is commercially viable right now. That's where a lot of fucking money is at right now. And then on top of that, ask any band, any performer. I know I've got a good friend of mine. His name is Trey Little. He's a rapper out of Detroit, and then, or maybe you're familiar with Taliban Duda too. I'm not really sure. But these guys, the only way you make money is through merchandise and tour the fuck out of everything. You have to go and play out all the fucking time, because you're not going to make money off of the replays on Spotify. The days of selling CDs and everything, all that shit's over, man. You just have to find new ways to make your music and your craft and your art marketable. And the only way you do that is if you're in it all the time and you're right there when an opportunity comes around, because you've been doing it for so long and you have the skills that were developed by you being there all the time. Just like Mike was saying about 50 Cent. He was an intern for the longest time, and he put himself in the right place at the right time. And that's how he got to where he was.
Yeah, I appreciate all that. Couple quick follow-ups. One, I noticed your camera's not on, so you must not be MOA.
No, I'm sorry. I was eating. I don't want to like eat in your face.
Why are you talking about Rollo like that? Rollo didn't have to turn his goddamn camera on.
Rollo's the GOAT, bro. Do the
Worries.
fuck you want, Rollo.
I work for Rollo. Why are you saying things like this? Don't talk about Rollo like that.
I was making a
swear Jesus, man.
There we go. Here, you want it? I'll turn on. I was eating a Cuban sandwich. I don't want to eat in your face.
No, I mean, I'm sick and I wasn't expecting to be here. That's why mine was on. But also,
yeah, I'm tired and I wasn't expecting to be here either.
I do music because I'm passionate about it, because I love it too. I'm not necessarily in it for the money, but at the same time, I do have ambitions to be wealthy, and I would love to do that through something I'm passionate about. Outside of music, I don't have much passion. So I guess a follow-up question would be like, what could I do? Or like for someone that doesn't really know what they want to do, or the passion that they have isn't paying, like how could they go about achieving a wealth in another way?
Your answer, Justin.
Bro, there's a million ways to make $1 million. I think Rolo's probably more qualified to answer the question on music particularly, but I think that go ahead, Rolo.
I was going to say, so my standard answer to that is, by the way, and I get this quite a bit because people want to ask me like questions about like music and stuff because they know how long I've been into it. My standard answer to that is go out and get into the scene. Put yourself into the scene. Put yourself into, I don't know whatever the rap scene is. I don't know where you live or whatever, but get out there and collaborate with other musicians. Right now, the band that I play in, we play in a rehearsal space that has, I think there's at least a dozen, there might even be 24 bands that are in this rehearsal space. They just rent the rooms out and stuff. And I'm exposed to like all kinds of different music. I mean, I play progressive metal. I play stuff like Trivium and that kind of shit. But like there's rappers that are right down the hall from us. There's jazz musicians. I mean, there's other metal guys there too. There's a reggae band that's in the downstairs that I talk to all the time. It's just being around that and see what other people are doing and putting yourself into that situation so that, you know, maybe you're not into jazz, maybe you're not into reggae, but you're like around people who are also musicians. They share the same DNA as you as far as being an artistic, musical kind of person. And so even if you're not like going to pick up and start playing like Bob Marley, you're still with these guys who understand the music business. And there's something like, there's commonalities, even though the genre is different, there's commonalities between musicians from like people that, you know, might be playing like traditional Japanese guitar somewhere in Tokyo versus the guy that's playing metal in a band somewhere else. It's just being around those people and picking up ideas. And I think what will happen is you'll be surprised how much you sort of like absorb from being around that scene. And then also they will open you up to other opportunities. So like, for instance, like the guys who are in the reggae band, they might hit us up and say, who did the engineering for your last album, your last EP? We might put them in touch with that person. And then who knows, maybe we have a collab, maybe we do something different. But the idea is you just got to be out there and put yourself into it. Because what happens is if you say yes to those opportunities, you'll find that, and this is true of anything, it doesn't have to be music, but if you say yes to those opportunities, even if it's something you might think, oh, I would never in a million years be a book author at any time in my life. Well, fucking A, that's where I'm at right now. So it's just putting yourself out into that space and then seeing what happens that goes from there. As I was saying before, like when it comes to playing, at least in my experience, playing in a band, I have to know about recording techniques. I have to be able, I can play like several different instruments, not because I studied them, but because I had an interest in them that came and it developed as a result of me being around different kinds of music and finding, you know, seeing different kind of musicians play different instruments. Then there's also the recording side of it. Then there's the business side of it. Then there's the management side of it. Then there's the performance. Maybe you want to be a roadie or something. Maybe you make $1 million because you start an agency for roadies and road crews. You know, there's so many different avenues that you can go. And you might say, well, I don't know if I want to make a lot of money being the manager of a roadie agency. But what that does is it allows you to get to the next step so that you can get to where start doing the things that you really want to do. And you're already in the music industry. So it's putting yourself out there and saying yes to opportunities. And then if they develop, they develop. If they don't, they don't. But I will guarantee you somewhere along the way, you'll pick up skills that you'll be able to use and apply at different stages of your life.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And I have done a fair amount of putting myself like that. But unfortunately, I feel like the commonality that I find most often is just, you know, starving artists. Everyone's struggling. No one's very few.
Yep.
Artists who can't network. Artists who can't network. I promise you someday they will write, just like 50 Cent wrote a book. There'll be a book someday about Drake. There was a meeting he went to meet a person who connected him to another person. Okay, that's the first thing. The second thing is, you ever listen to like Timberland? when he was talking about the beats he would make. It was thousands and thousands, and he would just throw them away. Or if you listen to Kanye West, it was just all these beats, and he would just sell beats. It was just beats and beats, and he would just work on it forever. And then there were people he met that led him down a path. But you're going to find, like for me, I tell you right now, what the reason why I can punch so high above my weight, I have 30,000 subscribers on YouTube, and I could get like huge guests on. Why? Because I had Bilzerian on. I mean, that was the first reason why. And from that, it opened the door. It was like these little connections that lead to other things. Stop believing it's a fucking meritocracy. It's not, because your lyrics are better, 4.3% better than the other guy's lyrics. You don't get the better shit. Yeah. You get the better shit because you knew the right people, Ryan. And it is especially for people who are a little bit maybe awkward or introverted, that seems so fucking unfair, but it's the way of the world, because I've said it 3 times on this show already. Networking is an evolutionary adaptation. Okay?
Thank you for your time.
Beautiful. Guys, so I got to knock these out. We can't go all night here. Avima, what's your question?
First of all, thank you guys for having me on. And congratulations.
Something's wrong with your microphone, buddy. Are you sweeping in the background? What's going on there? You're cleaning up a kitchen?
No, I was in the sauna.
Okay.
You hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to say thank you for having me on. And
did you get away from the cops? What the fuck, dude?
Dude, I was in the sauna, bro. It's fucking hot in there.
She wore you out, bro. She sat on your face and everything.
Dude, we were going on for 6 hours, man. It's crazy.
Go ahead, man.
But I just want to know, so what are some tips on, because I'm learning sales right now. I kind of want to get into high ticket sales. So what are some things that I can do?
Hey, Avima, hey, let's do this on Tuesday. I can't hear you at all.
Let me see.
There's just people in the background sound like they're sweeping and chunking ice and shit. It's just not a good time. It's not your audio, bro. There's background noise. It's not going to fix it.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm learning sales right now. I just want to know what are some tips to get into high ticket sales?
The ticket, I would talk to Tristan. I would message Tristan about that, or Phil Martin is another guy in our program. You can talk specifically about that. The easiest thing I can tell you would be to take Cole Gordon's high ticket sales course. That would be the easiest thing I would tell. Do you have is that in HU is high ticket sales one of the things that you guys teach?
Just sales in general.
Sales in general.
No, sales, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm in HU. I'm in HU. But they said they're like transitioning over to like an app. I don't know. I haven't got my code yet.
Yeah, it's set up.
Yeah.
Being around other high ticket salespeople would be the best. Like, again, we have one that's on this call all the time, Tristan Darshan. That's who I would talk to.
Okay. And also, I'm also doing like door-to-door sales. Would you guys say that would be?
Door-to-door sales is a great way to set you up for this other thing, because it gets you used to rejection.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did door door sales. One of the
thank you guys.
Beautiful. Alex Yoon, what's your question?
Hello, I have a question for Justin Waller, if I may. So, like the topic of being non-exclusive to a girl is very fascinating to me, and I didn't even know that was possible until like you guys, you know, Andrew and then Justin, Tristan, all that, they pull it off. And I wanted to know, the process of explaining that side of things to the girl that you're with. I understand that it's not an autistic process, but when you come to, blocking, like roadblocks, like, when the girl asks, like, what about like you, like, how are you not exclusive? How are you not exclusive to me? Like when I have to be exclusive to you, do you sit down with the girl and then just explain, like the logic of it, like the biology of the history? Like, I just want to know how the process is like.
Yeah, so it depends on whether you want to lie or not. I don't
absolutely
I don't particularly like to lie, because then I have to live in guilt. So honestly, man, like you just tell them, you know, and obviously you have information to back it up. There's plenty of information that we put out on these videos that talk about, you know, how males and females are. She's going to say it's not fair. Well, life is not fair. I need you to be loyal and be beautiful. That's it. I'm going to be the head of the household. I'm going to be the rock. I'm going to be the fucking hero. I'm the one that's going to take you places when we go. I'm the one paying for dinner. I'm the one risking my health for you in a bad situation. I'm doing this, and this. I need you to be loyal and be beautiful. And ideally, you would bring 1 or 2 home for us and just own it fully, man. And I'm telling you, if she really cares about you and you're really that fucking dude, she ain't leaving. She is not fucking leaving. I cannot tell you how consistently I do this all the time, bro, all the time, and how consistently they do not leave.
And that process is when that's happening, when that talk is happening, it's a logical conversation. Is it more like
I would say it's a little bit more parent-child, like, hey, listen, this is how it's going to be. I'm never going to leave you. You know, I create that. I don't know if you were on the call earlier, but you create that main girl and kind of hoe frame where it's you and your girl laughing at the hoes. You know, that way she feels secure that you're not leaving. She wants to know she has position. Because here's the thing, man. You're going to leave me for a man you love less than me that'll cheat on you in a second if he could. I'm just telling you the truth. So if you're really that dude and she really feels that way about you, if she loves you, she's not going to leave you over cheating, bro. As long as you don't make the mistake of apologizing for it.
What about the part where the girl wants to be loved? Like, right? So if you love another girl, let's say you have like 5 girlfriends, and then, you know, if she knows that you love all the other girls too, the other 4 girlfriends too, like, how do you explain that part? Because if you explain to them, to one girl, right, and you say, I only love you, don't worry about these other girls, like hoes, I don't even remember their names or whatever, but what about the other girlfriends? How do you explain to that girl about the other girlfriends?
Bro, I do it in the same way. I don't ever lie to them. I don't tell a bunch of girls I love them though. You know, only and it's been my experience. I've never felt love for more than one girl at a time.
So you're telling you're in love with multiple women. Is that what you're saying, Alex?
Because bro, is that even?
I'm curious about it. Like, I'm curious about. Like, I'm not curious.
Yeah, I've always usually had like a bunch of girls I was seeing, or I had like a main girl I was seeing, and then other girls.
Yeah, I've only felt love for one girl at a time.
Okay, I see. I have a follow-up question, a very short one. So, do you think something like that is possible for a non-high value man to pull off? Because I understand that I'm not in that position to do it, and like just with charisma alone, can someone like me do it truthfully?
Bro, I say this all the time, bro. You could take every 9 and 10 off the planet and put me in Indiana, and I'd be happy as fuck with my 5 7s, because one of them's a little busted in the face, but God, she's got big titties. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, no, but let's keep it real. That's me too, bro.
I'm busted in the face.
Bro, I'll take busted in the face and big titties all day long,
I got big titties. I'm busted in the face.
Yeah, bro. So, I mean, dude, yeah, man, and it's a happy life, bro. Like, look, me and Tristan Tate have this joke, bro. He'll be like, oh, that girl, man, she's all right. She's like a 7. And I'll be like, man, that's a Louisiana 9, bro. That's the finest girl in the trailer park at home. So I'm used to it, man. Like, just a girl that's not fat's good in my state. So yeah, bro, you know, like, like straight up, bro. So like, yeah, man, I think you can. I really do think you can, bro. I mean, you're an Asian guy. You could get really jacked. You have a great hairline. You're not ugly, dude, bro. I mean, bro, it is completely possible for you to have a little harem, bro. No problem. No problem at all. Handle your fitness. I put some muscle on, but you got a great jawline. You're not an ugly man, bro. So, you know, I would say fucking do it. Just own it, bro. And then make sure that,
Alex,
you know,
yes,
Alex, if you have to explain it, you're going about it wrong. Simple as that. Never imply exclusivity. Demonstrate. Do not explicate. If you have other girlfriends, she shouldn't be asking you, do you have other girlfriends? She already knows you do.
That's why
If
she's
you're a guy
asking.
who is like alpha, for lack of a better word, if you're alpha enough that you can have other girlfriends, that girl's going to pick up on that as it is anyways. So if you're having to explain yourself and you're having to sort of go into this sort of like rationalization process with her, you're doing it the wrong way. You shouldn't have to explain it in the first place. That's really what it comes down to.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. While I have the opportunity to speak, I just want to express gratitude for Rollo and Justin too, because you guys have been really impacting my life in a major way. Like I've read all your books, Rollo, and I was definitely blue pilled, and it fucking shattered my brain. I was like, what the fuck? This is the nature of women? I was like, what? I couldn't believe it. And also just and the way Justin holds himself, just watching him speak really inspires me, like how he's very calm, and I think the aura he puts out is very inspirational. So thank you so much for you guys, like just the things that you do.
Anytime.
Yeah, man.
Love it, man. Alejandro, what's your question?
Justin won't seem calm when I give him a spicy nipple twist when I see him next.
I can't wait, Rollo.
It's an entrepreneurish question.
Okay, Alejandro, ask your question quick.
Okay. So I run a podcast called Unindoctrinated Health. The premise is sort of like, unindoctrinated health, where like I disqualify doctors by saying they're professional indoctrinators. So sometimes questioning them makes them offensive, or trying to drill them makes them defensive. Anyways, where we talk about health and other stuff. Am I onto something here, or what? What do you think of me taking that route as a podcast?
So here's the thing with the podcast. Ready?
I'm listening.
So, let's rank these things. Ready? The quality of your content.
Okay.
The quality of your promotion on social media.
Mm-hmm.
The quality of your guests. Rank those three things.
Quality of content.
Hey, Kylie, were you ever live in a trailer park in Arkansas, baby?
No.
You didn't? Okay, I'm sorry. I thought you said you used to live in a holler, though, where you guys used to shoot shit and eat it.
Well, yeah.
Okay, cool. Just
I
making
didn't
sure.
live in a trailer park. I lived in a country club for a while.
Okay, all right, Alejandro.
For a while.
Okay, those three things. Rank them. The quality of your content, the quality of your social media promotion, the quality of your guests. What is the most important thing?
The quality of your guests. No.
Okay, it's fine. Okay, rank all three.
They're all fives, like average, nothing impressive, but the idea is
So
there.
I'll ask you, in general, hypothetical, if I was going to rank those three, what's first, second, and third as far as importance?
Oh, okay. Quality of content, quality of guests, and then quality of how well you propagate it. So
Awesome. It's completely the opposite. The quality of your social media promotion is a 10. The quality of your guests would be like a 9. The quality of your content would be a 1.
So it could be completely trash, but as long as I'm propagating it.
Nice. Is she here?
No, but I mean, this is the point.
Yeah.
Like you want a relationship, do it. Now she's shopping.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a game.
All right. So here's the thing, Alejandro. The thing is, if you watch, again, I'm not knocking them because they're fucking awesome. If you watch Nelk Boy's interview with Dan Bilzerian and my interview with Dan Bilzerian, mine is way better. Everyone admits mine is better. They're just kind of like frustrated, like looking around at each other, asking like stupid 13-year-old questions. I'm not saying they're stupid. Those guys are awesome. They make great content. Mine was my quality of my content was better. They had
way more value.
They had 20 times more views than me.
Yeah, way more value.
So so quality of guests is equal. Quality of content, mine was better. Quality of social media promotion, theirs was better. They did 20x me. Got it?
Understood. Yes, sir.
Quality of content is the least important thing. This is really hard for people to deal with. Also, the guy who was talking about writing raps is the same thing. This is not a meritocracy. Your podcast isn't better. Again, Joe Rogan got famous because there were a couple of times where he had the alien guy on, and then the Elon Musk guy, and then all that kind of stuff. It wasn't Joe Rogan, it was the guests, which opened the door to more guests. And then you had Joe Rogan Experience clips on Instagram, and then it blew up. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
People don't like that. They want to believe, no, if I just make better quality content, I'm going to win every time. And that is not the fucking case. That explosive growth comes from the way you promote and the guests that you have, the collaborations that you have. Nothing is going to cause me to grow faster than me collabing with someone who has a similar group as mine. Nothing caused me to grow quicker than me associating with Andrew Tate. Nothing. So think about that from a standpoint. I've been making the same content, but it was now I'm exposed to this audience that's thirsty for my type of content that had never been exposed to me before. That is 20x more important than the quality of my content. It's really hard for people to grasp this. Okay? Your content it doesn't mean shit. It's just a lot of shitty content producers that have ends with cool people, and because they do that, like honestly, I don't think Pillow Talk does a better podcast than me, but they have way more followers than I do. Right?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. This is my opinion. Good?
Okay. Yes, thank you. That answer. Thank you. You guys provided so much value today. You're a blessing. Thank you, Justin Waller and Rolo, and you, Michael. Thank you.
Awesome. Luke, you're the last one for today. What's the question?
Cool. Two quick questions. First, what's the difference between a mosquito and Paul Walker?
Wait, can I fucking, do I have to turn the recording off for this?
Nope.
The difference between a mosquito and Paul Walker is the mosquito stays alive when it runs into a tree?
No, the sound when they hit the windshield. Yeah, question for Justin. Do you have brothers or sisters? And what does that relationship look like compared to the Tates?
So they're all obese, and some of them are still in the trailer park in Louisiana. Some of them have moved on to Idaho, and that's basically it. It's half and half. Most of them stayed in Louisiana. One of them left. They're all overweight, and I'm the oldest of 5.
And I'm assuming Michael will have like a similar answer to this. What do you do when like you're at family parties with them and they like not try to give you advice, but you get stuck in like conversations with them about their life versus yours?
We actually don't have family get-togethers at all. So.
Yeah, it's a little different for me. My brother and I saw things very differently, and then I had a certain level of success, and I just try to show him what I was doing. We don't have discussions about certain topics, but he does see we find common ground on certain things, and he's coming along. Hopefully I want Patrick at some point to work for MOA. But yeah, I mean, obviously we've gotten much, much, much closer. It probably took my dad dying in order for that to happen, for us to start getting a lot closer. Yeah. But also, to be fair, watching Andrew and Tristan made me want to get closer to Patrick.
That's awesome. Okay, cool. Beautiful.
All right, man. Guys, we've gone 3 hours and 16 minutes. Congratulations. Thank you, guys. If this is the first time you've been on one of these calls, put a 1 in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat. It's the first time you've been on one of these calls, or you're not in Men of Action. Put a 1 in the chat. If you're not in Men of Action, welcome to Fight Club, motherfucker. Welcome. Stathis, bro. You got at some point, Stathis, you got to join us. There's so much you haven't even learned yet. All right, guys, check it out. See this link right here? Please click that link. Do yourself the favor of clicking the link. At least watch the VSL. Man, you know what? We'll help you with that. Make sure you guys watch the VSL, and then go through go and make sure you check out all of the testimonials, and then set up a call. Okay, we really want you guys to at least set up a call and figure out whether or not this is right for you. You're going to talk to Tristan, you're going to talk to Martin, you might talk to Grant, you might talk to me, who knows. Make sure you guys set up a call. I'm looking very much forward. I would love it if you guys joined tonight, and then tomorrow you guys were on MOA. We might be able to do that. Things are going to get a lot busier because I'm going on Fresh and Fit podcast on Wednesday, and we're going to probably get a lot of new clients from that. So if you guys want to join, it'd be way better if you join today than if you try to join after I get Fresh and Fit. Fresh and Fit, I go on their podcast, and then Fresh and Fit comes back to Vegas to do Access Vegas with Rolo and myself, which is going to happen next. And then I go to fucking Romania to interview Andrew and Tristan. At that point, good luck trying to get in. Good luck. I would tell you guys, look at that link right there. Sign up now. We'd love to have you. If you guys are interested in doing high ticket sales for us, if you're interested in being an affiliate with us, please write me on Instagram. If you can't find me on Instagram because you don't have an Instagram, step one is fix your fucking Instagram. That's in Men of Action. All right, guys, we got to go. I will see you guys tomorrow. Those of you in Men of Action, I will see all of you tomorrow. For those of you who are not in Men of Action, check out the, I'm going to be on several different podcasts. I'm going to be on Valuetainment twice. I'm going to be on Fresh and Fit at least, I believe, twice. Justin and I might do something else here. Got this. There will be no podcast this week just because I've got so many other things going on. Also, you guys want to check out Purple Pill podcast and the Green Room Radio podcast. I just released episodes with those guys. I want to give you guys a chance to catch up. Then when I get back from Miami and when I go back to Vegas, Tori Grow, who's one of the colleagues of Rollo Tomasi, her episode comes out. It's going to be fantastic. And then Rollo and I are going to do Access Vegas on the 15th of December in Los Angeles. And we have some really cool guests coming on for that. So we will see you guys tomorrow. Take care.